Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to RetroIsland.com. The only site for everything retro. The Retro Island Network for everything retro. RetroIsland.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 77 of I Got Gameplay. Yes, and tonight, conspicuous of his absence, of course, is Mr. Xander Scullion, who is currently playing around with anime fans and otaku fans alike, going to his, I believe he's going to an anime convention at the moment, so he won't be here with us. And also conspicuous of his absence, Mr. Zach Latour, who, for some reason, can't get a hold of. We've been trying. But I'm going to give him one of these until he gets on, which is you guys know what it would be, of course. It's the normal stuff that we give anybody who's betrayed us. That it is
betrayal, betrayed me.
But also, let's not focus on those who aren't with us today, and focus on the ones who are here. And let's start first with Mr. Travis Goss. Travis, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, and I understand you're a little under the weather this evening.
I am. I'm suffering a hay fever, and it freaking sucks.
Hang in there, my man. I said this before the show, and I've got the same problem, so I know how you feel.
Oh,
hang in there.
It kills, but there's nothing much I can do about that at the moment. Also, speaking of another gentleman who's here today, he's also from the On Radio Show, of course, and a regular on the Retro Island Network. He's Mr. Craig Kellerman. Craig, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, healthy as usual for the most part.
Oh yeah, rub it in, Craig.
I'm like you two guys.
Hey, no, I'm feeling okay. I just got a bit of a headache, but I'm going to be okay.
Rub salt in the wound, Craig. That's what you need to do.
You got it, man. That's what I'm here to. I'm here to hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like anal rape. He's just here to hurt me. So going on from that, guys, let's go on to our news section, of course, because we want to talk about news, because that's what we're all here for. You're having the news or other stuff, of course, as well. So let's do it now with our news section, if I can find that, because this board is very vast. Here we go. So, Craig, what's in the news this week?
Well, as you know, Disney went in and shut down LucasArts Studios, and another tragic Star Wars game has been canceled. Star Wars Attack Squadrons, and it's supposed to be this. I guess it's a browser game, free to play. I guess apparently it was supposed to be kind of like a big battle thing for space battles and stuff like that. It looked like it was going to be really cool. You're going to have like full control over all kinds of different Star Wars ships and stuff like that. It's going to be set up kind of like how Battlefront 3 was, kind of a little bit, but in space.
But, I can hear you scream.
But unfortunately, it was canceled.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's rude. I think, we've got to give one of these for the cancelled game, of course. Let's do it. That's a shame on that one. But speaking of some good news, the the Ubisoft confirms that the character in Far Cry 4 is gay. I don't know how that's good
Wait.
news.
Far Cry 4?
Far Cry 4, the sequel to Far Cry 3. It's good in a sense because it means they're not like, contextualizing the character.
Yeah.
You kind of knew it for the fact of the way that he was dressed. The second cover images of the art reveal of Far Cry 4 have been the subject of second-guessing, controversy between Tibetan prayer frags and apparent situation, another human being with overwhelming amounts of stereotypical images preempting the effeminate gay man. Where do we begin? Ubisoft, the largest video game company in the world, recently, due to recent layoffs of EA, of course, need such blatant, obvious images in your games. You do need to attract attention, of course. And when it comes to that, they have confirmed quite recently that the character in Far Cry is actually gay. And the teaser image is to insinuate that he is of that nature. So I don't know. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's progressive, but it's a little bit like they're doing it just to do it.
That's the thing I wanted to ask is why is this now becoming a thing in games? That's what I want to know.
It's popular, isn't it?
It's I understand it's popular, but I don't understand why some of these companies are making these games now. They're making it a thing where at least one character is gay. I don't really care, to be honest.
I think we should make it in our podcast that one of our characters needs to be gay.
Oh, I can definitely do that for you, sweetheart. Because my gosh, this character I'm developing, he's just like super fruity and he's so friendly to all the nice little children.
I think we just need to do that for just no reason whatsoever. So, Travis, have you got any news for us today?
Actually, I do. Have any of you guys played The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap? Have you ever played that before?
Yes. Yes.
Well, got some good news then for those of you who have access to the Wii U Virtual Console. After unleashing a ton of news concerning the upcoming Wii U release of Hyrule Warriors, Nintendo continued to keep the Zelda hype train rolling on those spirit tracks, as the company confirmed that after a successful re-release in Japan, a classic franchise entry will soon make a return trip to the West. Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo of America have confirmed a Wii U re-release for the Capcom-developed GBA title, The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, for the respective regions.
Wait, Capcom developed it?
Yeah.
Fucking me.
Really?
That is weird.
European fans will be able to download the game via the Virtual Console on May 29th. That includes you, Burhan. But fans living in North America will have to wait for unspecified later dates. Damn. Wii U owners who happen to be Zelda fans will surely appreciate the re-release of this all-time classic legend. Although I have to ask, will the game ever be up for sale on the 3DS Virtual Console? Those of us who aren't ambassadors would love to play, put our rupees down for a portable copy, which I agree, because I kind of like to. I mean, this is a game that's developed on the GBA, and I know that right now that Nintendo's releasing a bunch of their GBA games onto the Wii Virtual Console. I just can't understand why they can't do that for the 3DS. I just don't understand it.
I know.
That's right. At least you guys got fucking 4 swords. We didn't even get that game here.
Oh, yeah, that's horrible. That game is really fun.
They were giving it away free to you guys over in the States. We never got it at all, and I was kind of pissed about that. So at least we're getting something, even though we got to pay for it. We're still getting something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's one of those instances when I'm expecting you to go,
Not really. I'm already gloating over the fact that I'll be getting my Mario Kart 8 bundle very soon.
I feel like the 3DS should have all that.
So I'm hoping that I do get it by the 30th. So, yay! But saying that, PlayStation Now, PS4 beta, doesn't work with remote play apparently. It does split-screen multiplayer though. So what do you guys think of that?
Split-screen multiplayer?
It does split-screen multiplayer, but it does not work with the PlayStation Move.
Wow. Who uses
PlayStation Move?
Basically, the PS4 beta, PlayStation Now, is underway. One of the reasons identified that whom we won't disclose for obvious reasons, of course, that the information of some of the features included do not include the current incarnations of the service. First of all, the PlayStation Now does split-screen multiplayer just fine. It has no problem streaming both portions of the screen and sending receiving input controllers. By the way, for those who don't know, the PlayStation Now is the streaming service that they do for playing games. It's one of the features that the PS4 was supposed to have on launch, where I could look at a game that Craig's playing and then just hop in with him. Because I'm sexy like that.
I feel like that's it's got to be all kinds of jumpy and jaggy. When you're streaming a video game, it's got to be a lot of the technical problems.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's buggy, and I think Sony's had recent issues financially. Could be the reason why they're only just rolling it now. It's interesting to see that Sony will activate the feature in the future alongside sharing and recording features. The feature will have its own PlayStation Now service as well, and the fact that the console is limited to wireless connection only could prove a bit of a challenge, because we all know that wired connection works better than wireless.
Oh, definitely. In every situation.
So, Craig, you got any more news for us?
Just a little bit of a thing here. If you guys were on a dry spell for PlayStation 4 games, you know the Order 1886 was one of the games that they were really pushing out there, and I think it comes out in the fall. But they have a new video out there, all new footage for that game. So, something to look forward to, because I know there's, like I said, there's a huge dry spell of new games for your shiny new system.
Is Watch Dogs out yet?
I don't think. Is it? Has it come out yet?
Watch Dogs is coming out. It's coming out for the PS4 and Xbox 360 and the PC. I think it's coming out next week or a couple weeks, I think.
It's also coming out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and the Wii.
I heard it was, it looked pretty last gen, though. Like, it was kind of like, just another, like, PlayStation 3.
I want to know if it's...
No, I understand that, but, like, I'm saying, when you buy a shiny new console, you want the best. You want the games that are obviously, like, going to blow away the last generation of games.
Well, you have to keep in mind that these systems, I mean, they're still fairly new, but at the same time, they've also said that this is about the best that these systems are going to get, because we really haven't done much in terms of evolution, in terms of the technology used in video game entertainment.
And actually developing the games.
But it's just
pushing the systems, pushing it to the limits is more difficult.
Yeah. But and of course the Wii U version, I think that's coming out in the fall, which I still don't understand why it's taken that long, but I'll wait.
And also, just so you know, ladies and gents, if you want to start your intergalactic career with EVE Online and have no life whatsoever, and consume your days spending loads of real-life cash on loads of useless shit, you can do. You can start at the moment by paying more than $3.39. You can actually pick up the EVE Online pack, which is the starter pack, the EVE Online Variety Pack, and for over $20 or more, you can unlock Plex, which is an additional add-on. So
I played EVE for a while.
What do you think of it? Did it give you no life? Were you addicted?
Yes, it was very... But you know what? EVE is a very interesting MMORPG because it has a very realistic economy, and you don't have to like sit there and grind. All your abilities and things you learn are based over time. So if you decide that you're not going to play the game for a while, you can shut down your subscription, and you can leave it on a skill which will just grow. Because say, like, you want to learn electronics 3 or something, it'll take a month to learn.
You're making me want to buy this game now. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up having to buy this and giving it a try. Because is it monthly? Do I have to pay a membership to be on it?
When I played it, yes, but this was back in like 2006. Wow. So I don't. This game has been around for a long time, and it's really cool because it gives you. There's factions which are all actual players, and then you start corporations or join corporations, and they basically make the storyline. So it's all player interactive. It's not too much NPC stuff. There's some side quests and stuff like that. You can kill like pirates and stuff. But for the most part, like, you join a big corporation and you can fuck some shit up, and it's a lot of fun. It's like being a part of something crazy.
I'm going to click on the order button. No! Had, stop it! No! Do not order this game. I've been on a Steam frenzy as of late. It's been really weird because I've just been picking up loads of like cheap games.
You bought too many games. Now I gotta play them all.
Look, it says after your trial, your EVE Online account will revert to a paid monthly subscription.
Yeah, but if you're good, you can gather enough ISK. You can pay for your monthly subscription in ISK.
Can you?
Because it has real world value. The money in that game has real world value.
So I could literally make a career in EVE.
Yeah, you would definitely then have no life.
Oh my god! Right, I'm going to switch off the Humble Bundle page there to it. Anybody else that wants to buy it, go ahead. It's there. It's really, really cheap. You can actually. It's starting at $3. $3.50 gets you both EVE Online Starter Pack and the EVE Online Additional DLC. If you want to pay more, you pay $25, gets you Plex. So it's there for you guys. If you want it, go for it. Me, it's a bad idea. Just say that for me at the moment because I have no money. And Travis, any more news for us?
Big thing that goes on here in the U.S. During like the good portion of the year is NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
And
living that, loving that NASCAR. I'm telling you, buddy. Yeah, we just love driving at 150 miles per hour in a circle.
Yeah. He took a left, and then a left, and a left.
But no, this Sunday is the NASCAR race, which is the History 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Is going to have a special decoration on Matt Kenseth's car, which is he's going to be advertising Mario Kart 8 on his hood.
That makes me have a Woody.
Mario can drive in pretty much whatever direction he wants in Mario Kart 8, but today he'll be practicing left turns on the hood of NASCAR driver Matt Kenseth's number 20 car. Kenseth will be racing in the annual 200-lap History 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, a track with a disappointing lack of gravity-shifting sections. Really, though, if we could at least throw some item boxes down, we'd have a pretty interesting replica of Baby Park. So, yeah, that's pretty cool how he's going to be driving around with this on his hood. Pretty nice. But what looks like it's got the Mario Kart 8 logo, but it's got Mario suspended upside down driving, on one of those gravity-defying tracks. So that's pretty sweet.
Oh, man. That is awesome.
I might just watch the race just for that alone. I don't even like NASCAR, but I think that's pretty sweet.
That is pretty cool. So, Craig, got anything else for us?
I'm looking for some news here, and it's kind of been a dry week for, I guess they're hooking up. We're looking forward to E3, which is coming up in less than a month, right?
Yes, it is, and it's something that I can't wait to give it a shot. And we're going to be having some exclusive coverage. It's going to be extensive IGG coverage. We have some coverage with our fellow hosts here, and also individually as well, where I'm going to be doing E3 coverage. It's going to be quite similar to the coverage I did last year, but it's going to be sort of a host-on-host chat this time around. So you guys make sure that you tune in for that, because that's going to be hosted on the I Got Gameplay channel, and also my channel, youtube.com/TheNerdGenius.
It's interesting we should mention that, because I think it was Xander Scully, and he actually shared some information with us about Nintendo's announcements that they're going to be making at E3 this year. And I've got the list.
Go for it.
All right. Well, let's see here. We all know that Super Smash Bros., 3DS, and Wii are coming out this year. 3DS version will come out on July 18th, and the Wii U version comes out in December of this year. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire coming to the 3DS in November of this year. Bayonetta 2 comes out August 15th. I'm going to butcher the hell out of this. Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem coming out for the Wii U on August 29th. X from Monolith Soft comes out on the Wii U September 12th. I have no idea what that is. And there's going to be a host of third-party games going to be displayed for the Wii U and 3DS. It's nice. Big news, though, for Wii U Virtual Console owners out there. On June 10th, Nintendo's going to be announcing a list of GameCube games coming to the Virtual Console.
Yay!
Starting with Super Smash Bros. Melee, F-Zero GX, which I actually got on the GameCube, as well as Melee. Super Mario Sunshine is coming out, as is Luigi's Mansion and Mario Kart Double Dash. And then Hyrule Warriors will be announced for release on June 27th. Mario Party U, finally getting one of those, coming out this year during the holiday season. Yarn Yoshi coming out for the Wii U on October 2014.
Wait, Yoshi? Hold on.
What
is that like
Yarn
Epic
games? It's like Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Exactly.
Actually,
and
at least Yoshi's getting his own game.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, it's gonna be. I played Yoshi's New Island, and I'm just like, meh.
Yeah,
it was okay.
It wasn't as good as the Super Nintendo one, I hear.
It never will be. None of they can make as many Yoshi games as they can, but none of them will ever hold none of them will ever hold a candle to Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo.
Right.
But anyways, Metroid is coming to the 3DS, and it'll be out in November of this year. And there's going to be a Pokken Fighters game coming to the Wii U for spring 2015. No idea what that is.
You say like something like Pokemon Fighters.
I don't know, but if it is, then coming to the Wii U, that's about as good as a Pokemon fighting game as we're going to get, or whatever. But anyways, this one I'm really excited about when I saw this on this list. There's going to be a new Star Fox game coming to the Wii U this holiday season.
Ooh, what's it going to be called? Star Fox and the Star Foxy Adventures?
The Foxy Adventures?
Right now, it's just being called Star Fox U. That's a tentative title.
Oh, man, that's so creative.
And well, it's a working title, so I'm sure they're going to come up with something better.
That was like back in the Nintendo 64 days. Every game was like this 64, Tetris 64, Mario 64.
Well, some of these games that come out in the Wii U have U in the title anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just continuing a tradition. And then finally, coming out sometime next year is a new Legend of Zelda game for the Wii U.
Well, I'm looking forward to these games. What do you think, Craig?
I am most likely looking forward to new Zelda game. Zelda games are the reason why I play Nintendo still, you know?
Zelda games are the reason why I don't play Nintendo games. I'm joking, of course. I love Zelda games. We all should. So what do you guys think of it? And also, I forgot to add this in. I should add it in there. You can give us a call on 718-664-9265. That's 718-664-9265, ladies and gents. So make sure that you do that. And what we're going to do as well is we're going to go into the main topic in a little bit. So we'll do that as I put on a nice little commercial song for you and try and clean myself up. So we'll be right back after this. Okay, not after that.
crime wave is high, with muggings mysterious. All police and detectives are furious, cause they can't find the source of this lethally evil force. This is serious, so give me a quarter. I was a witness, give me a report. Call April O'Neil in on this case, and you better hurry up, there's no time to wait. We need help like quick on the double. Have pity on the city, man, it's in trouble. We need heroes like the Lone Ranger when Tonto came pronto, when there was danger. They didn't say we'd be there in half an hour, cause they displayed triple power. Was hot on the trail, determined to put these crooks in jail. She spied the bad guys and saw what happened, but before she knew it, she fell in the trap and got caught. Yeah, she was all alone, with no friends and no phone. Now this was beyond her worst dreams, cause she was cornered by some wayward teens. Headed by strangers, they were anything but good. Misguided on love, they called them the foot. They could terrorize and be angry youth, and they'd mug the people who needed truth. Then from out of the dark came an awesome sight, shouting cowabunga as they hit the ground. From the fields of weeds, the heroes rescued the flower, cause they possessed masters with moves like lightning. They were once normal, but now the mutants. Splinter's the teacher, so they are the students. Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Donatello make up the team with one other fellow, Raphael. He's the leader of the group, transformed from the norm by the nuclear goop. Pieces of food that's sure to please. These ninjas are into pepperoni and cheese. Back to the story, it's not hard to find. Ninjas not just of the body, but of the mind. Those were the words that the master instructed, but a letter from Shredder has Splinter untouched. That was the last straw, spring into action. Step on the foot, now the gauntlet is traction. Now this is for real, so you fight for justice. Your shell of cards and you shout, they can't dust us all. Like some old coffee table, since you've been born, you've been willing and able to defeat the snake, protect the weak, fight for rights and your freedom to speak. Now the villain is chilling, so you make a stand. Back to the wall, put your sword in your hand. Remember the words of your teacher, your master. Evil moves fast, but good moves faster than light. Shining from your illumination, good versus evil equals confrontation. So when you're in trouble, don't give in and go sour. Try to rely on your triple power.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We're back and we're talking the very, very cool topic today of gaming mistakes. Now, these mistakes can be given out by anybody, of course, meaning gaming mistakes by yourself and games that you've played, gaming mistakes that you've seen on the internet, gaming mistakes that you've seen done by other people, and gaming mistakes done by gaming companies. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a bit of a bitch fest. So I'm going to open the board over to our fellow IGG co-host as well, who can do that as well while I'm sitting here sneezing myself to death. And we'll do that. You can also join in the conversation. 718-664-9265. That's 718-664-9265, ladies and gents. You can join us and talk with us about gaming mistakes. Now, I hope you enjoyed that song, of course. That was Turtle Power.
God, that brings back such great memories from when I was a kid.
Apparently, the best thing about Back Through the Shadows. That's the only thing that people liked about Back in the Shadows for some reason. Still,
I haven't played that.
I've never heard of that.
Okay. Back to the Shadows is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game that was available for download on Xbox Live and PSN. Zach, have you played Back to the Shadows?
Which one?
The TMNT game, Back to the Shadows.
No, I haven't played that one.
I will say that the Turtle Power Song was actually the best thing about that game for some really weird reason. But is
it still on, or they did list it?
It's still available in digital download. You can actually download it. But warning, if you don't like the game, that's not my fault. Anyway.
Don't give them money, Travis.
It could be a gaming mistake.
Yeah, it could be. I actually have the game downloaded on my Xbox 360. My daughter plays it all the time, and she's really good at it. You know, for a 5-year-old, she's really, really good at it.
She learns from the best.
She does, I have to admit.
Uh-huh.
Well, when you say things like that, Travis, you just make my ego just go... Zach, do you want to give us some gaming news before we start the topic?
Yeah, the only new... Can you guys hear me, or does it sound like shit again?
Oh, you sound great now. You sound sexy, as always.
All right.
And by the way, ladies and gents,
now you guys sound like someone has a bad connection. I don't know.
I have a very bad... I wouldn't say cold in a sense, but I have very bad hay fever, so I sound like I'm talking out of my butt, so I do apologise for that. But yes, we can't justify Zach Latour without saying he has a huge penis.
Yes.
That transcends time.
They made a movie about it called Anaconda.
Yes, they did. And, but the movie wasn't true to life. His dick actually won and swallowed the villager's whole. Anyway, Zach, what have you got?
Yep. Actually, I don't know if I have any. I know I was reading that my news last week was that Left 4 Dead was becoming like an arcade game. And this week I was reading the actual characters. There's a schoolgirl. It's still like, so the people are like Japanese, but it's still taking place, like the regular game is the same. The only difference is like the character skins or whatever. There's like a schoolgirl, there's like a tour guide. Those were the 2 females. And there was 2 dudes. I was in front of a computer. Nothing ever works with Skype on any of the things I own, and it just makes me want to just dig a hole and just jump in it and die. I don't know. Nothing ever works for me.
Did you ever play EVE Online?
EVE Online?
EVE Online. I remember you mentioned it when we did that MMO episode. I think you were talking about one of your friends played it before.
Oh, yeah, Tom plays it, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, they're doing a Humble Bundle at the moment where you can actually get a copy of EVE Online plus the expansion pack DLC for over $3. You can also get the other expansion pack called Plex for an extra $20. And the funny thing about it is, like, Craig was talking up to me and I was just about to order it, and then it went... After the trial ends, you have to pay a monthly subscription. I was like, my hand goes back now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Eve has a subscription fee. It's funny, like, things that have subscription fees, because, like, Eve, I don't know how much it is, like, to actually buy the software, but then I think it's, like, $15 a month. But, I mean, like, one thing that really pisses me off is Kyla's been playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
14. And she paid $60 for the game and then $15 a month. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I will not pay for the game.
It makes no sense. And, like, so she has the disc, and the disc is pretty much worthless. Like, you might as well just download it over the internet.
Yeah. It's the same thing with games like another one that people were talking about quite recently that I've refused outright to buy it, which is available on digital download only. Which is the new game that came out on the Xbox One and also out on the Xbox 360. Does anyone want to give it a mention? Come on, guys, it has mechs in it.
Oh, Titanfall?
Titanfall, there you go. I went in and I was like, how much is Titanfall? And the guy looked at me and went, oh, my man, you can have it for $40. And I was just like, no. I'm not paying 40 quid for a game that basically is going to be worthless as soon as they shut that servers off. But
at least you're not paying monthly for it, you know?
Yeah, but it's one of those games where I just can't justify it. If it's not a physical copy, if it's not something I can actually play and show to my great-great-grandkids, you know, and my kids can pass down to their kids and something like that, then I just don't want it.
Yeah, that game is kind of... Okay, so it's like I don't like to buy digital stuff.
Yeah.
But then it's like you have things like where it's like digital, but you actually can, you know, you own it and you can play it whenever you want. But then you have this that's completely relying on being online. So it's like it's 2 strikes that it's like, why the hell would you ever spend money on that? Yeah,
no, it's exactly that. And the thing is, I'm totally anti-digital in terms of play. You know, I believe that, fair enough, if I've got a multiplayer game, it's like, the things I love about Steam, and has kind of turned the tide for me in terms of using Steam, is I can purchase games, I can play with my friends online, but I can purchase them for cheap. There's Humble Bundle deals. If there's a game that I want, I can literally get it on a price drop via Humble Bundle. I purchased a new game that I'm currently playing, Rise of Solar Empire. I got it for like $3 just for the game itself, and there's no subscription fee. It's a download game, so it means I won't have it, again. But I can play it. I can play with my friends. I can enjoy it until the servers shut down, but that's it. So there you go, guys. That's one of our biggest gaming mistakes here that we've got, which is downloadable games. How far is too far? And another one that Zach was actually just talking about, paying fees for games that you're basically purchased anyway. Another company that's guilty from it is Blizzard.
Yeah.
The Warcraft series.
Well, that goes into saying that goes into microtransactions as well. Just like every little thing, like $2 here, $1 there for the a skin or a special gun or a map. Where it doesn't seem like you're paying a lot, like 99 cents for something, but after you buy like 5, 10 of these things, you're playing these games for a while. That does add up, especially if you're paying $60 for the game itself. I mean, of course, there are the free-to-play games that pretty much make money off of microtransactions.
I think the worst one I've seen is the Simpsons. The Simpsons. What was it called? Tap Out game.
That's the wrestling.
No. It's basically an online app game that you get for your iPhone and phone. You download it for free, but you've got to pay $400.
Holy shit!
For like $400. I'm not even kidding. £400 for certain items that you need in the game, and it's just like, why am I going to pay £400 for that?
Yeah, that's like Forza 5 for the Xbox One. They have one car in there that you could pay fucking $200, 200 real life dollars for to drive, And they make it where it's so hard to save up or earn all the in-game cash, where like after a while you're either going to pay money for it or just not bother.
And if you just want to join in on the discussion, you can on 718-664-9265. That's 718-664-9265. That's your tag.
Do I?
Yeah. There you go. You're back to normal again.
All right. We're talking about microtransactions. Here's the thing. You have things like Final Fantasy XIV, which annoys me because you have to pay to use it. So why is the game like software $60? That is just too high for me to pay that. But look at something like, and there's a reason that League of Legends, this is one game that I love using as an example because, for one, it is a great game, but their business model is fantastic.
Right.
You can have the whole game for free. Depending on how often you play and you win and all that kind of stuff, you get points, and you can use the points to buy characters and runes and all that kind of stuff. I think the only thing you can't buy with those points is skins. Like, you actually have to pay money for those if you want them. That the way they do it, I have absolutely zero problem with. I think it's completely fair, and if you're just that into the game and you want to pay actual money, then do it. But they allow you to unlock pretty much anything besides skins, which don't
you
do
can work
anything.
for it.
Yeah, exactly. But so when we were talking about someone talking about buying that car for like $200 or whatever, I believe when I read that story, there was no other way to unlock it. So you couldn't get that by doing anything in the game. You have to literally pay money. Yeah. And that's where that sticks out as an issue, because having to so when you have a game and you're giving special privileges just because people are paying money that the other ones can't ever get if they play the game, they don't want to spend the money. That's where the problem is. The skins in League of Legends don't do anything besides look different. So depending if someone's spending a whole bunch of money on it or just spending a whole bunch of time on it, they both could get to the same point. And that's why I like the way they did it. I don't like the way Square did it with Final Fantasy 14. I think that's trash. You know, I mean, Kyla doesn't even care. She's like, whatever, it's a good game. I like playing it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But to me, it's like, I don't know. To me, it's stupidity.
That's like how they did it in like Diablo 3, the original auction house. You know, it's basically pay to win. You know.
Yeah.
You all right, you know, you jump in the game and you're level 10, whatever, and then you buy like this badass sword with like $10, $15, and you basically could kill everybody with it, and it's unfair, but I guess if you have the money, it's whatever it's worth to you. You know, whatever the experience is worth to you. So the more people do pay for these kind of things, the more they're going to charge, the more they're going to have these types of models available.
Interesting.
Microtransactions, they're not going anywhere. The people are making so much money on it.
No. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you look on you go on your Android or your iPhone and you look down and then you go to all the games and all the apps and it's all free shit, but all those games, either they have advertisements or like a massive amount of like microtransactions are all pay to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big problem with the industry right now. You know, as soon as they were like, all right, you know, we can add stuff to games and people will pay for it, buy DLC, and it's just, you know, they could make incomplete games and they could sell you shit right off the disc.
It's so money fueled these days that it makes you wonder how companies even were able to exist back in the 90s.
The other thing too that actually made me think of something is the fact that, I mean, Craig actually kind of brought up an interesting topic where companies nowadays they can get away with selling a broken game. It's like, well, we'll fix it with an updated patch and all that stuff.
Right.
We can do that. And back in
another problem.
Yeah. And the thing is, back in the day, like in the 80s and 90s and all stuff, even back in like the days of the Atari, they would sell you a broken game.
They would go and
no, let me finish. They would do that, like because they were rushing to try and get something out so they can start making money from it. And once they sell it, or once that they produce the game and there's something that's broken about it, if it's on the cartridge, that's it. Sorry, you just wasted your money on a broken game. But nowadays, they can fix that, but it's still a pain in the ass because like for instance, if you're trying to do one thing and a portion of the game that would help you progress further into it, and you can't because of some sort of a bug, they'll either say, well, yeah, we've heard about this, and we're going to release a patch and we're going to fix it. Sorry, you should have done this in the beginning. You guys are just getting way too lazy and way too dependent on the fact that you guys can make patches for this later on. That's what makes me really sad about gaming today and where it's going.
Mm-hmm. That's like every time you turn on your console, you go on and it's updating something. You know, it's always being patched, always, and all these patches take up space on your hard drive.
That's another thing too. It's like the systems that come out today. Yeah, you connect them to the internet wirelessly, and they always add updates to it. I mean, they treat it like they're actually computers. Well, game machines are computers, but you get my point.
Right.
But the thing is, even that's a pain in the ass. Like, for instance, I want to go ahead and I want to play some GTA 5. Mm-hmm. Okay? Then I guy's like, okay, I'm going to fire this up and says, your system needs to update. This will take this long to update the system.
Right.
And I'm like, forget that. I'm just going to go play some Mario Kart. Whoop, go over to the system and fire it up. This system needs to add an update. Please wait. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
You know, and there's a lot of people, the argument going into this generation was that they didn't want their consoles to always be online, but the way these developers are making games now, you kind of have to have your console online all the time. You know, like if you buy a brand new game and it needs to be patched and you don't have an internet connection, you basically have a broken game.
Exactly. So that's why the future of gaming to me seems just a little scary.
Oh, absolutely.
At that level, I think the way you guys got to look at it as well is these games are becoming more advanced and more highly developed. I'm not, as I said, I'm not trying to defend anybody
Oh, true, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
they are becoming to that stage. Like GTA 5, for instance. I enjoy GTA 5 because the fact it's an online MMO. It has an online MMO component, and the game has that part where it's absolutely free. You know, no, you're not.
Granted,
You don't have to pay the extras for it. You're not paying for downloadable content. You're not paying for anything. You're just enjoying the game and enjoying it for what it is. And I think that's awesome. I think Rockstar have done an amazing job with it. And they've extended the lifespan of the game as well since its inception. So, you know, I've got to give a huge kudos to them for doing stuff like that, because they've done it right in a sense. Now, going from that, let's try and talk about another one of gaming mistakes that I don't like. And that's bad gaming journalism.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's big.
So has anyone got any bad gaming journalism stories?
How about the whole thing with Microsoft and Machinima?
Yes, that's a big one. Now, for most of the people who don't know out there, Microsoft partnered with Machinima to say positive things about the Xbox One. And by doing that, Machinima put out a promotion to the majority of their partners, telling them then that they should basically be going out there and, you know, doing the same thing and promoting this product. It wasn't the great thing to do. It wasn't right. It had a huge load of issues with the company doing this to begin with, and people got very annoyed. So,
putting it mildly, of course.
Yeah. How did you guys feel when this happened? How did you guys feel when they just went out of their way and did this?
Betrayal!
But no, I wanted to ask you, though, that very question. How would you feel if Microsoft came up to Retro Unlim and said that? So, like, listen, guys, we want some positive press about the system. We as a company would love for you guys, for a small fee, we'll pay you guys to say nothing but nice things about Xbox One.
Well,
that would be bullshit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I've been to their events. They've given me hands-on, and for some reason I've got the laptop player playing in the background. You know, I've had
okay.
I've had these, you know, situations where they've invited me on. I've been on the Microsoft conferences. I've went to the event. I've played the console, and I've said good things about the console, not because they paid me to do it or they offered me money to do it, because I had hands-on experience. But then when they started going back to their old tactics, I went back and went, hey, you know what?
That's bullshit.
Yeah. And I called them out on it. If they came to us and said, hey, you know, I want you guys to do this, mind doing this for us, I wouldn't, no. No. Integrity first. And I think that's the big thing here. And I think
you know what, though? Journalism, it all comes down to the almighty dollar. Journalists are getting paid. That's what they do. It's their job. And
yeah, but you can't. The problem with journalism,
I understand that.
Has to be impartial.
Yeah.
The moment impartiality gets in the way, and you start doing things like reporting false news for cash, that's when your integrity goes out the window, and people aren't going to trust a word that you say.
It's just becoming very sleazy is what it is. I mean, I look at some of these like online journalist websites. I mean, a lot of people know this. I'm a huge fan of Polaris because I do like their journalism and I like their video content. And they're very honest people. They don't get paid by anybody to say whatever. But I think it's very, really, really sleazy that you got companies, websites like Machinima, who will just readily say, yeah, okay, Microsoft, yeah, no problem. We'll say nothing but nice things about your system, no problem. I think that's pathetic.
But that's the problem. With partners like Machinima, they do things like this because they want money. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not about doing things that want to get a positive or negative spin on something. It's let's see how much money we can make. And when you start treating journalism like a business, instead of reporting news, you're making the first mistake of journalism to begin with,
right?
And that you're not being impartial. And if you stop being impartial, then what the fuck are you?
And a lot of times they put up headlines just to get clicks.
Yeah.
Reviews, you know, they'll say anything just to get somebody.
Yeah.
They'll be like, Microsoft, free boobs. And then You know what I mean? Like
free. No, that's funny. Free boobs. No, that'd be the people who work for the company. Hey-o.
This isn't a new thing, you know. They've gone to various YouTube partners before. They've given people money. They've given people like free Xboxes. Like Boogie had that whole issue where he was given a free PlayStation from Sony, and people went fucking ballistic. Which they shouldn't have, because, you know, it's fucking... Let the guy have a happy fucking ending. He wasn't told to fucking say positive things about the PS4. He was just like, hey, you know, this...
Well, they did it. They figured he would say something nice about it, but without pressuring him to do it, you know?
Yeah, and it's
just a gesture.
Yeah, it's basically one of those things that they shouldn't have... There shouldn't have been an issue, but there was, you know.
But that's the other thing with, like, you know, everybody online, you know, everybody's going to talk, everybody's going to go on Reddit and talk about all the YouTubers and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah,
you know?
again,
Brad. To get around.
Do you remember Rad Brad? Rad Brad ended up getting a free Xbox. He got a free PlayStation 4 as well. So, you know, it's one of those things that does happen. And it happens a lot because they go to these channels, they give them the incentive, and all you got to do is just say something nice.
And you notice, like companies like Game Informer, they get games early. You know, they're always inside the developers' studios and stuff like that, and they have relationships with these people. So you know, it's obvious what games that they're going to cover and what games that they're going to cover a little bit less. You know what I mean?
But the moment
they're going to push certain games.
Informing people is the moment that there's going to be an issue.
Right.
You know, and I've said this time and time again. You don't want to start misinforming people, because the moment you do that, you're going to kill any credibility that you have, that your channel has, that your brand has, and just basically make yourself to be a complete and utter douche.
And
it only killed the industry too. I mean, look at what they did. They advertised the shit out of. Well, listen, they advertised the shit out of E.T., right?
Yeah.
Saying that this game was gonna, it's just like the movie, and then the game came out and it was crap.
Well, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
To be fair though, that guy worked only 5 or 6 weeks on that game, and they needed that out by Christmas. So to his credit, he did the very best he could. It's just that if he had more time to work with it, I'm sure it could have been one of the greatest games to ever come out in that system. But given it was only 6 weeks, I mean, it was the same with Pac-Man. They wanted Pac-Man to come out on Atari 2600, and they was only given 5 weeks to do that. And again,
there was no internet back then. The only way that you could find out was through magazines and articles.
Well, yeah,
and, you know.
But still, I mean, the point is, these developers, they were told by the company, we need this game made. Will you make it? Yeah. Okay.
That's a big problem.
Okay, no. And then they said, okay, we'll pay you to make this, but you only got this amount of time to make it. Think about that. Well, let's compare Pac-Man to the way it was in the arcade. Phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Try putting that over to Atari 2600, but you only get like just a few weeks to do so. Of course, it looks like crap because you pretty much put a gun to your head and say, you're going to make it this length of time, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's like bringing something from Windows 8 to like Windows 95, you know?
Well, we're talking about Zach for because you've been away for a little bit. I don't know if it's in the connection thing or, but we were talking basically about gaming mistakes here, and the biggest mistake we find in the gaming journalism is one of the biggest issues because of the fact that we don't think journalists are being 100% truthful nowadays. And that's one thing. That's a question I want to ask you actually. If Microsoft came to you with all your issues with the Xbox and they offered you a free Xbox One to promote their brand and say things about it, would you?
Well, here's the thing. If they gave it, I would say, look, you can give it to me and I'll play it and I'll let you know. Like, if I like it, I'll say good things. I'm not just going to say it because you're giving me something. It's gotten to this point in my life where I know enough people who probably have it. So, like, if I wanted to start my own blog about Microsoft, I would just probably go to their place and use it, and then give my views. But I'm not just going to lie just because someone's going to give me an Xbox. I mean, come on. Like, maybe if they gave me, a personal fluffer for the rest of my life.
You already had a fluffer.
What's up? No, but I mean, no, I'm not just going to say good things just because they give it to me. And that doesn't even just go with Microsoft. I mean, that goes with Sony, everything. I'm not just going to say, like, when I see some people say, okay, Major Nelson or whatever his name is, he when I watched that interview with him and Angry Joe, I just feel like this guy's a fool. He's a moron. And he's not credible to me. I feel like everything that comes out of his mouth is paid for, and he's not even that intelligent. So I want, beyond getting free stuff, because he probably gets all kinds of free stuff, I would rather somebody be like, I like the way that guy thinks and his opinion on things and what he has to say, instead of someone like, oh, yeah, I know he's only saying that because he's getting free stuff.
Well, that's one thing I want to ask you, actually. You know how Major Nelson came about, don't you?
Mm-mm.
He started off as
I don't know.
He did start as a fan. He started off as a Microsoft fanboy, in a sense, and then had his hand and everything else there. He's involved with corporate, basically. He's their go-to guy in terms of like media and reviews and stuff like that.
He's your PR guy.
He's a PR guy, but he's also a very in terms of the first-person shoot circuit, he's a competitive gamer in a sense as well. I believe now he's a retired competitive gamer, but he is a competitive gamer. And when Joe, I was the same way. I when I listened to that interview, I was like, and I looked at his face, and I just looked at him and I thought, you are a douchebag.
Yeah.
Everything about you are everything that's wrong with this game industry. And speaking of douchebags, do we remember Dorito Gate?
Wait, the one with the dinosaurs?
The Halo situation?
Oh, wait. Oh, okay, no.
Okay. Basically, there was a situation that happened called Halo Gate. What was a Dorito in a sense. Let me just bring this up. It was a funny situation, and it was to do with a gaming journalist, and it opened up a door of controversy. We talked about this previously. Joe kind of enlightened us on it as well because it was part of his 2012 list, and it was basically about the whole situation with Halo 4, Mountain Dew, and Doritos, and a gentleman by the name of Jeff Keighley, who's also the lead editor at IGN, who was also a dipshit who he fluffs his own coattails in a sense. He's been a part of press conferences where he's gotten people he did a huge press event and did a whole huge talk on gaming journalism, and people were asking him questions, and instead of answering them and being modest, he would dress them down. Now, what happened was Jeff Keighley was doing an interview while seated between bags of Doritos, bottles of Mountain Dew, that were wrapped in ads for Halo 4. A year ago, columner Robert Rad Florence talked about it, and the current British Games journalist and also the award show making a promotional tweet to the games in hopes of winning a free PlayStation 3 as well, and an apparent legal threat he got as well by journalist Lauren Wainwright and her editors. Basically, they compelled Eurogamer to remove the article, not reference it as well. And it also caused him to leave Eurogamer because he was calling these guys out on their bullshit, and they basically threatened a lawsuit, and Eurogamer just took it down, the article about it. And the article compelled Florence to quit, and basically listings it's deleted Wainwright's resume of having done work for Square Enix as well, a publisher whose games that she covered and reviewed. One of them was one of the Deus Ex games, I believe. There was another large complaint to suspicion of coziness of the gaming press with public relations wings and companies whose games they cover. Now, what it's basically saying is, if I'm a gaming journalist, for instance, I could basically, if Square Enix wined and dined me and convinced me, and basically it would allow them to just basically justify, hey, Mike, come here. We want you to review this game for us. Tell you what, we're going to buy you dinner. We'll give you a free PlayStation 4. And also, do you like this Bentley? Give this Bentley. And kind of coerce me into doing good reviews for them. Do you know what I mean? This is where the issue is, because people don't understand that the press is kind of that's not what the press should be. The press should be the guys. It's like me going to a Godzilla 4 premiere and basically talking about how shit Godzilla 4 was, and then someone goes, "Oh, tell you what, you can have dinner with Bryan Cranston if you say loads of good things about Godzilla."
Right.
You know, it's kind of it's coercion in a sense. And so, what do you guys think about this? In a big way, do you think journalism has gotten to that point where you're sitting there going, "Oh shit," you know, it's kind of killing itself?
I think the industry is just fucking overwhelming the journalism aspect of it, and kind of like it's now a part of it as just part of the money making machine. It's all one.
I think what kind of gets to me is, this is a field I want to get into, journalists, especially when it comes to video games. This is, it's been my dream for so many years, and this is something I want to do. And it just, hearing all these stories, or even some of these scenarios, it just makes me think that everybody does have a price. But at the same time, you have to have your integrity intact, because if someone were to say, okay, listen, we're coming out with Uncharted 6.
Yeah.
If the game it's not nearly as good as the other games, but I tell you what, if you do publish a very nice article trying to praise this game for as much as you can, we'll buy you dinner. We'll give you a new PlayStation 4 or 5 whenever that game were to have come out, and you can never ever say another bad thing about us. How about that?
We'll wine and dine you.
That better be some.
So you know, we have Mr. Clint Davis from the XFI radio here with us as well. Currently on hiatus, but Clint's here with us today as well, talking with us. We're talking about game mistakes, Mr. Clint Davis. Well, what's your issue? What's your take on the whole gaming journalism thing? Do you think journalists are they're kind of naming their price now?
I honestly don't keep up with it much, and I know we've hammered on this subject a few times. I really never was a gamer. I'm more like I just got into Call of Duty, and I've always been a Grand Theft Auto kind of guy, but I've never done a whole lot of reading about video games. My brother, he's gotten this IGN magazine his whole life and stuff like that, but I never got into that kind of stuff, so I couldn't tell you about the journalism side of it.
Okay. Travis, you were going to say another little thing for us? You were going to say something else and give us another comment on this?
No, it was, the point was that it's really sad that we have come so far into this field of journalism, and then now it's being fabricated by big corporations who want us to say what they want us to say in order to promote their products and all that stuff. It's really sad that it's come to this.
I feel like the journalism aspect of it is just to market the games to people and sell it.
But you know what, as well, though, you guys got to think it this way. Everyone has been bought and sold now. Look at YouTube videos. A lot of these guys, I've seen it quite recently, where some of the popular channels like JonTron and Game Theory are now promoting products inside the videos as well as part of another way to monetize it.
Well, it's, these guys are putting a lot of effort into making these videos. They're spending a lot of time making these things, and they want to make a little bit more money, they're sacrificing their time at maybe a job they might have, to do these videos. They have to get paid for it,
Yeah.
I think but here's the thing. I would only do something like that if I felt that the product was worthy,
Right.
Like if it's something that I feel like it is really popular. This is like something that's truly hyped up, If it's something I believed in.
Like if Coca-Cola came up to you and said, Travis, just do a little thing, drink some Coca-Cola in your video, talk a little bit about it before you start talking about whatever on Rose Color Reviews, and we'll give you $200. Would you do it?
Well, for one thing, I do love Coca-Cola, and I'm not saying that because I'm being paid by them. No, because it's actually one of my favorite soft drinks I've grown up with. So if they were to chuck me a little bit of cash that way, yeah. But I'd be honest about it because I fucking love Coca-Cola. I feel if you're very honest about it and not doing it because you're being paid, I think that'd be the only exception to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. But at the same level, it's the problem is when we're looking at stuff like this, people are trying to justify as we need to make money, and that's when the journalism part goes. You know, if you accept even the smallest bribe, and it's shown with Boogie as well, it's gotten to the point where people will just trash you no matter what. Okay, and that's another thing as well. Let's talk a little bit about trolls. You guys know troll. You know when you play your GTA games or your Call of Duty, as Clint's familiar of, and you get the odd little kid jumping in on your games.
Call of Duty's rampant with trolls.
Clint,
yeah.
Have you ever experienced them?
Yeah, quite a bit. You know, I mean, altogether the whole gaming world is still pretty new to me. So you know, you get. I'll tell you the funniest part of getting on these games like this is when you hear, when I hear kids that are younger than mine that are just screaming and cussing and throwing all this language around because something happened. They do these rage quits and all this other stuff. That's the funniest part of it. But yeah, the trolling is that's killing me.
Oh, do you know the newest thing they went on about? And that was basically calling the police to your house. What was it? Swatting?
Yep, swatting.
Yeah, swatting.
Why would I'm just saying? You know, it's just why.
Man, it's a kinder, gentler world. It's kind of like how I can get my tires slashed by my ex-wife, and then when I cuss her out for it, I get hit with a harassment charge. I mean, vandalism is totally legal in this state now, apparently, but really? you can't cuss at anybody. No, I mean, not really. It's really not, but. You know, it's kind of, you know, there's no eye for an eye here. It's one person commits an actual crime, and then, you know, you cuss at somebody, and they call the police on you. I mean, it's ridiculous. Everything's kinder and gentler now, and everybody's so damn sensitive, like a whole hillside of heavenly marigolds and daffodils. And if you go let a dog walk through it and piss all over the place, then somebody's going to be up in arms about it.
Well, that's the thing here. But calling a SWAT team to someone's house
that's a little extreme.
Not having
it's extreme.
the fucking head officer grab you by the fucking scruff of your neck and put you in a holding cell for wasting police time and millions in government funding.
No, you lose, bitch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're not the one who called, but you wasted their time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet.
That's how the police work. You got to love them.
Plus, you're in danger. I mean, these guys are coming to your house, guns drawn.
Yeah, and it's
at grandma's house. Open up your basement.
What was it? Uzak who was telling me that apparently there's points in all this.
Really?
What do you mean points?
That you score points for swatting, for sending a SWAT team down to someone else's house.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Cool
That might have been Xander. I don't know.
I think it was that. Someone's telling me about this. That's worrying. You know, people are doing this for fun. I saw a video quite recently when someone was mocking it, talking about a video of someone doing souping, and it was basically like putting themselves in acts of risks so Superman would save them. It's like, yeah, bitch, you just been souped. You know.
What the heck?
It's kind of like on Tosh.0. Did you guys see that where this chick was laying on his couch and he cut her bangs off and she's like, I just got banged at Daniel Tosh's house.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I feel like I've lost some IQ points now.
It's totally, yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's kind of the same thing, a little bit different, only not.
Oh my
close.
God.
Michael Matthew 4 basically just said that a lot of people like Jontron and etc. are promoting small Android apps. They can't see them making much money from these things, but you know it is getting bigger. It's like it's going to get to the point where you're going to see bigger companies looking at these videos, looking at what these people are promoting, and if it generates sales revenue, they're going to want a piece of it.
Well, we have to remember, too, that Jontron, he's part of the Normal Boots website.
Well, no, that's his website. He owns it, believe it or not.
Oh, he owns... Well, very good. Well, I'm sure it's
between him and Gamer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that it's not just him that's promoting. I'm sure everybody else who's affiliated with NormalBoost.com are also doing the same advertisements. So yeah, I see that point.
But that's the thing as well, though. You look at that and you think to yourself, how much is too much? That's the main thing here that you got to look at. It's
not a new thing, though. I mean, this has been going ever since the dawn of television.
Yeah, but no, the difference, I think, is that the reason that I think YouTube and really the internet, entertainment-wise, got so big was because it was so different than television. You didn't have to sit through all these ads and all this shit. And one thing that, like, I always talk about is, right, so I stopped watching TV because I don't care about any of the ads that they have on there. I'm tired of commercials, and I'm tired of all this trash that they're trying to, like, shove in my face. So then I go to YouTube. And, for a long time, YouTube was perfect. And now it's like I have to have ad block on my computer. Otherwise, every video I ever watch, I'll be watching commercials. So, it's like I went to the internet because I didn't want television. I didn't want the commercials. And then, people also go to the internet to do that. But then they say, oh, hey, maybe these people on television were doing it right because they're making money. Now let's put ads on our stuff. Now let's promote all this crap that no one cares about so it becomes just like television. The only difference right now between, like, the only difference between internet entertainment and television entertainment is that the variety is so, the span of it is gigantic.
Yeah.
You want to watch video game stuff, you're not going to find that on television. So it's like, there's a spot for you on the internet and things that you can watch and stuff that you want to watch. But don't think that you're free from all this trash because it's there. Like I was saying, I have ad block on. Otherwise, I wouldn't watch pretty much anything. I would stop watching both. I don't care about these ads, and that's why I went to the internet to begin with. And I'm sorry that this is how people are making money, but you know what? People on television, I guess, are making money too, and I'm not helping them because I don't agree with what they're doing.
No, I agree.
Well, let's go back.
I think that's the big thing here. You're going onto the internet as a form of escapism. You don't expect it to become this sort of form of media, but because everyone's migrating over to it, people are seeing it as an alternative. And when Google bought out YouTube, they started monetizing everything, and people started making money. And it's become to the fact that this is a volatile marketplace in a sense. People will do whatever they can to make money off of it, to the point where they will do whatever they can. They will, I don't want to use the term whore themselves out, but kind of, to get as much income as they can out of this.
Well, yeah. I think the point I was trying to make, though, is like, I mean, of course, this was going on even during when radio first started out, that these advertisements would show up on radio stations before television and all that, because some of these companies are trying to promote, not only promote their products, but also trying to help promote these shows and all that. And then let's go back to television there. I'm sure everybody by now has seen that classic Flintstone commercial for Winston cigarettes. I think we've seen that, right?
Oh, no. that was ages ago, wasn't it?
It was like 50s, right?
Yeah. But that was
on
the
YouTube.
time where they thought children smoking was an acceptable thing. Nowadays, it'd be...
Oh, you have a cold? Smoke some cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little shot of whiskey, Marlboro Red.
Smoke some cigarettes.
Oh, there we go. I'm back. But no, but that's the thing too. Is just like back then. It's just even like your favorite TV shows. They had the characters in that show had to do an ad for something.
Somebody please think of the children.
There you go.
There you go. Like Winston cigarettes for Flintstones. I think they even did the same thing for the Jetsons. I think I'm not sure, but it just goes back to even during the times of old-time television, even on old-time radio as well. A company wants to try to promote their product. Hey, let's see if this TV show or radio show will promote our product. Give a little bit, and we'll help you out.
Well, speaking of that, what do you think of Google's decision to buy out Twitch?
That scares me just a little bit, because this whole thing with YouTube, that they're trying to avoid any third-party content being brought onto their servers and all that. I'm worried about the same thing could happen with Twitch, because people are playing video games on Twitch. They're live streaming it.
Yeah, that's a major video game network, and by buying them out, they're kind of taking away that alternative in a sense. You're looking at it thinking, shit, what are we going to get on that one? What do you think, Zach? Because I know that Kyler uses it prominently. Do you think that that YouTube having an influence on there is going to kind of kill it?
I think Google having influence on anything is going to kill it. Here's one problem I have with Google is they're like a major, obviously competing company for pretty much everything. They want to, try to, appeal to every little thing. You want a blog, a place, they have it. You want YouTube, they have it. You want, Drive, they have it. They got all this stuff. And it's annoying to me because it hinders my everyday life. Like every podcast I've missed that you guys do is because Kyla has a Chromebook. And Chromebooks, even though they're made by Samsung, they're Google products. And because Microsoft owns Skype, before Microsoft bought Skype, you could use it on a Chromebook, and now they made it where it doesn't work, and it's not compatible. So everything that they buy hinders my life one more step and makes it that much more inconvenient. Back when I used to have a blogger, I'd like to have one account. I had a blogger under a different email address, but what I wanted was to have the email address I always use for Gmail, and I wanted my alternate one for Blogger. But it seemed like every time I went from Blogger to Gmail, I was logging out and logging back in and logging out and logging back in because they own all this shit. So I feel like everything that they do makes my life take one more extra step. Yeah, Twitch. I hate to see Google get their hands on any of this stuff. You look at YouTube, and even the guy who made YouTube was like, I never wanted it to become what Google's turned it into.
But they sold it to Google, didn't they?
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I think that they were, they were like, wow, I can make a bunch of money. But now, they're pretty much like, they have money, and they're like, now looking back on it, I never wanted what I made to become what they made it into, and I agree. It's not YouTube anymore. They should have at least named it something else. There's so many restrictions. Yeah, it's Google Tube. There's so many restrictions. There's all this stuff. One of the videos I put up had a trailer in it for Final Fantasy 14, and I took it off somebody like IGN's page or someone who didn't even make the trailer, and I put it up and it got flagged immediately. And I was like, so I just took it down. I deleted it, and all I did was I took the trailer and I played it in reverse, and it was fine. And, people get angry when people find loopholes around this stuff. You know how when people put up videos and, they're mirrored and, they don't get flagged and they're fine because they're technically not the exact thing that was made by someone else?
Yeah, because it was upside down. I've seen that with thousands of videos and stuff.
Well,
or they slightly speed up the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why people do this. And it's not even because they're trying to rip off a company. It's almost because, the company is, trying to rip them off. It's like Square Enix makes this trailer for something. And I want to use it for fair use stuff. All I'm doing is Kyla's talking about it and put the trailer over it. No, it gets flagged. And the reason I don't want any flags is because, if and when any monetization or anything ever happens, I don't want anyone else's fingers in this pie. They didn't do anything, IGN hosting this trailer where I can find it, they didn't do me a favor. There's 15 other places that had it up there. Anyone having this isn't doing me a favor. So it's just annoying. There's so many steps, all this crap. Everybody wants, like I was saying, when the internet was coming up, it was a different place. It was a place to do different things. It was a place where you didn't have to deal with the crap of television, where, you have to wait for a specific time to watch things, or you have to sit through these commercials of stuff you don't care about. But the thing of it is the way the humanity works and the world works is, even though it's different, people say like, oh, you know what, let me just throw an ad on my page and I'll make a little money back. So to me, they're just screwing the whole thing up. I don't want Google's hands on anything. I just think that they ruin it and they take away the charm that the original developers put into it.
What makes me laugh was they had that movie that was released about Google, basically, where it had Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
Oh, The Interns.
The Internship, yeah.
Internship.
It was so fucking hilarious because it was not exactly how Google was. It's like customers come first. We need a call center of our people to talk to our customers. And I just sat there, I was like, you don't have a call center. And the reason why you don't have a call center is because you're going to get flooded with calls. People are going to bitch at you. People are going to get angry with you. But you don't want to do that because you want to shut down someone's account and say, well, that's the last of it.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's never going to be the last of it. I've had, you guys, it's well documented of every situation I've had in terms of Nintendo and how Nintendo have treated me and my channel. I can't live stream anymore because Nintendo flagged every single one of my Super Mario videos. because I did a live stream with my kids on Super Mario, on the Super Mario 3D World. Flagged every video.
Well, yeah, and the thing of it is like putting your stuff on Google or YouTube. This is where Google should be like defending you. You know what I mean? You're the one making content and trying to bring people to their site, and instead they're not It's not that they're not even like protecting you. It's that they're like throwing you to the wolves. It's like they're taking you and saying, here, yeah, take them, whatever. And it's like I don't know. It's like have some backbone. You're one of the biggest companies in the world, and don't get me wrong. I love a lot of things that Google have done. I mean, I've had Gmail forever, but it's these little things. It's the little things when a lot of money is involved, or when a competing company is involved. And obviously, business-wise, everyone knows why they do these things. But it's just like come on, be a gentleman here.
And that Michael Matthews actually stated as well. Speaking of Nintendo flagging videos, I find it funny how now the release of Mario Kart lets you upload your Mario Kart replay footage straight to YouTube.
Yeah, that's funny.
And it's like, do you think they're going to flag that? They probably will just flag it.
That's funny because I'm going to be getting Mario Kart 8 the day it comes out, and when I get it and I come home with it, I'm just going to start doing some Let's Plays of that. So they can't flag me for something like that if that was a feature they've already built into the game.
They will. They will flag you because they flagged me for every Let's Play I've done on Nintendo stuff. They flagged me, and now I've been restricted for live streaming on my YouTube account for 172 days.
That's a pretty exact number.
Yeah, for 172 days. My kids basically can't do Let's Play live streams with me for 172 days. And speaking of 172 days, guys, we've got Oliver here, who was on the last episode of IGG with us on episode 75, I believe. Ollie, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, we're just talking about the fact that Google kind of fucks everything up. I know you've been listening in. What's your take on all this? On them buying out Twitch? Do you think it's gonna end up basically, are they buying it to shut it down, or are they going to pose like loads of restrictions on it? Because it's totally gaming, and you know how Google are treating gamers at the moment.
Well, my personal opinion with Google is they're just buying up everything they can.
Yeah.
Literally trying to own everything, so you can't go anywhere else, and then they can charge you.
That's a big thing as well, and that's another thing. Paid subscriptions. They've added that onto YouTube now. Paid subscriptions. Do you see anyone using these things, these paid subscriptions? I think the only company that I know of,
never,
and that's being a wrestling fan, Clint, is TNA. They're the only company that's made their YouTube channel with paid subscriptions.
I saw like there's the Young Turks. They had a paid subscription thing for all of like 3 or 4 months, and then they just switched back to regular content because nobody's going to want to pay for it. I mean, you already have advertisements all over the videos, like, and then if you start paying for one video, one channel, and then you got to pay for another channel, then it's just like how much money are you willing to spend on YouTube videos?
Yeah, that's another thing as well. It's the acceptability, isn't it? I've had something for free for so long, and now you want me to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like making EVE Online free and then charging you paid subscriptions afterwards. You're going to be like, fuck you. Why? I was paying this for God knows how long for free. I'm not paying it for paid. It doesn't work. It's not the thing that you need to. And saying that, going back to the whole YouTube situation, Nintendo, let's talk about them a little bit. Nintendo have been making, there's a theory going out there at the moment that the reason why the Wii U isn't selling is because Nintendo aren't allowing people to fucking advertise the system on their channels.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's exactly what's making the Wii U not sell. You got it right there, Nintendo.
It's one of the reasons marketing is a big deal. Like,
I agree.
YouTube videos are free marketing for your consoles and games.
I know. If you think about how much money is dumped into marketing and promotion, millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you have an outlet where it's completely free, and they're dicks about it. Somebody mentioned paid subscriptions. I haven't actually seen any of those, but that makes me wonder, because when I watch, for example, I'll use GameStar 81's website. when you go to a video on his channel, there's a commercial at the very beginning that, you know, if you had ad block, you wouldn't see. But then he has an actual commercial that's in the video when he talks about like, the NES boxes. And then like every 15 minutes is another commercial. And then, you know, and then we were talking about people who are advertising apps or products in their videos, and then, you know, they want to put on this paid subscription. So, you know, it's like how much money, you know, do you really want to get from everybody, and how much time and money, you know, I don't know. It's just, it's annoying. And that paid subscription thing is, ugh.
That sounds, yeah, it does sound bogus, exactly. But the thing is,
Matthew 4 was actually saying as well that on websites that he's seen, people will get you to go over to their blog or their site where some content's exclusively there. So as you've pointed out, Zach, where you have to exclusively watch something like an advert inside that video in order to watch it. And they won't have that video on YouTube. I know JonTron's doing it at the moment where you have to go to Normal Boots to watch new episodes of their creators' shows. And
I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah.
I go to Normal Boots to watch the stuff there. And, you know, that's one thing where I commend people. Like, you can go to Classic Game Room and you can go there to watch stuff. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it does make me laugh, though, that Classic Game Room actually uses Dailymotion, which is what I use.
Oh, Dailymotion's awesome.
Well,
but they're also back to YouTube now.
Yeah, because apparently they won their argument.
Yeah, sorted it out. But yeah, one other thing I wanted to say was on Twitch they have you can pay you can either watch people's channels for free or you can pay $5 like to sub their channel where they get half and like Twitch gets half, and you know that's how they can make money on there.
Is that a month or is that just a one-off fee?
That's a one-off thing, yeah.
Well, again, this is where the problem's going to lie. If Google buys them out, do you see them shutting this down? Do you see them shutting Twitch down and leaving it, or?
I don't think they're buying Twitch to shut it down. I mean, but I wouldn't doubt it if Twitch becomes more than video games. I wouldn't doubt it if they try to make Twitch something just like YouTube, where they're just putting all kinds of live streaming shit on there.
That's the big thing here, and it's kind of what's killing it as well. And with Nintendo doing everything that they do, why do you think Nintendo are basically trying to get people to give them their ad revenue for their videos? Because now even in the games, like at the end of Mario 3D World, when I completed it with the kids, it says this is our copyrighted content and we own exclusive rights to it. At the end of the fucking game, and I laughed. Because I was like, for fuck's sake, Nintendo. Do you know what I mean?
I watched quite a few of those videos that you put up with, I guess you and your boy there, and they were pretty entertaining.
Yeah, because it's like the kids were just having a laugh together, you know. There were the situations where it kind of broke down into kind of a fight where all of them were sitting there screaming at one another, or my son breaking down into tears because they all went through the flagpole without, you know.
Yeah, well, if
spending time with your kids.
Yeah, but exactly. But at very least, you're showing how every other kid would play that game too.
Yeah, and it is quite funny because I had to keep taking the pad every now and then.
Well, you know, that's a good point that you said that, you know, he's showing how every other kid would play the game, because even when we play the game, you know, not to mention when other kids play the game, but when we play the game, we go back to how we played that stuff back in the day. Like, there's no adult strategy to this stuff. It's, hey, man, I remember doing this, and this was cool, and there's those warp tubes that used to go down and stuff like that. So, yeah, it really kind of shed some light on the, you know, not really the mentality of the game. That sounds like a bad analogy, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's kind of the fun thing, you know, where you're, because I was kind of getting into their mentality of doing it as well, because they were finding things hard, and I was sitting there. I remember at one of the last levels, we were having this big sort of rush where this level was so freaking difficult that we completed it, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. And it was just, we were just cracking up laughing, just enjoying the game together. And then Nintendo, literally, the videos, they flagged it 10 times. I clicked acknowledge, and they still kept flagging it. And I'm like,
can't have it. No.
They want every bit.
I've given you authorization to put adverts on the video. What more do you want?
Yeah.
You know, and it had like a list of things like Mario MP3. They were doing the music, then the video, then the light.
Dude, they need that 30 cents for every click.
But the thing is, the videos don't do that well. You know, they're not the biggest videos on my channel. My biggest videos are my vlogs. My biggest videos are the stuff when I basically talk in front of the camera, like the movie file stuff, the commentaries that I do. I remember Oliver was telling me about the commentary I did on Nita Sarkeesian. That blew up and nearly hit 10,000 hits. No one's fighting for me over ad revenue on that. I think someone tried to, but I laughed in their fucking face. You know, and the fact that you're going in there and you want to take like the 11 hits that video's gotten and earn like 0.001 of a penny from that video.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing is, though, people think that if they make video content for YouTube, I mean, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite about this, but people think that if they make videos for YouTube and they get them monetized, that's where they're going to make all the big bucks. In reality, that's not how it really happens. You know, the only way you can actually make money from your videos is if you're affiliated with some sort of company of some kind. Some kind of a network. That's the only way you probably would make money.
Or unless you blow up. Or unless you're basically blown up and you get a huge loyal fan base.
Yeah.
You know,
or advertise in your video.
Yeah, it's like Angry Joe probably gets like 1 million hits per video.
Well, yeah, about that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? He'll definitely earn money from his videos.
But he's also... I'm sorry, go ahead.
But he's not with any platform.
Well, he is affiliated with Polaris in some way.
That and the guy with glasses, he's also on there.
That guy with glasses.
They literally do nothing together anymore. It's more just they're advertising his videos.
Yeah. But I'm sure they pay him because he's a huge name for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why he gets away with what he gets away with at times. So, yeah, Zach, you were going to say something before we interrupted you?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that, not every company is like that. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of companies that are grateful that people are promoting them for free because, like I said, promotion is a huge thing. If you look at the budget of any company, in like a business sense, marketing and promotion is huge. And, they got to get, the idea that the product even exists out there. But one person in particular who I think the story is awesome is Nathan Barnett. And I don't know who watches his videos, but he's a comedian. Yeah. Well, he used to do, he probably still does. I haven't watched him in a while, but he used to do things where he would promote candies and he would make his own commercials about them, which are really funny. He did Twizzlers and he did Skittles and he did one more and I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was M&M's or what, but we'll just go with the two that I know. He did Twizzlers and he did Skittles, and they were both really, really funny. And Twizzlers sent him a cease and desist order, and they said, do not promote us, don't talk about us, don't ever do this ever again. We don't ever want to be affiliated with you. And Skittles loved it so much, they I'm pretty sure they sent him a vending machine, a Skittles vending machine full of Skittles for his videos. And so so there are people, like you see one who didn't like it at all. He said stop using it, even though it was free publicity, and he was making his own content using their product and saying how he liked it. He wasn't saying this is trash and throwing it in the garbage. He's promoting it well. And then Skittles, they loved it, and that's the thing. People have to understand that these people who have big followings and they're promoting things, whether they're video games or a candy or whatever, that some people will, anything. Some people will take that free promotion. And when we were talking about JonTron promoting apps, I actually remember that the first one I saw him do, which I think was the Hot or Not app, and I just thought it was a joke. I didn't think he was actually even promoting that. I just laughed and let it go. I thought it was just a bit in the video.
No, but actually, in the video, he actually promoted the app, and it was just okay. Do you know what I mean?
When he was looking through his phone, the Hot or Not one.
No, but at the end of the video, do you know when he does the end slate at the end?
Oh, yeah.
He promoted the app there, and I just sat there and I was
okay.
oh, shit, he's serious.
Yeah.
But again, I don't see an issue with it, but it gets to the point where how much is too much. That's what
I'm saying.
Yeah, that's where the issue's going to come. It's like, imagine you and Kyle are basically every minute doing an advert for something and you're getting your nerd on videos. People are just going to get sick and tired of it and just unsub you.
Yeah.
And
exactly. Oh, yeah.
It's nothing to do with how entertaining you guys are and stuff. It's just mostly to do with the fact, if I'm going to have an advert for Pepsi while Mike's doing a movie file or while Clint's doing extra fire, and then have an advert of Clint announcing the fighters, and the next minute he's doing an advert for Pepsi, and then he's talking to the fighters, and he cuts them off for a second to do an advert for Coke. People just would be like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. There was a music video that I saw. I want to say somebody posted it on Facebook or whatever, and it was like an Avril Lavigne video, and I clicked it just to see what it was, and the first 5 seconds were 7 product placements, and I was like, oh god, it's everywhere. It's just everything's just out of control these days.
Yeah.
There's so much money to be had. That's why the idea of the internet has just created that hasn't obviously created money, but it's just created money going into so many sources where people will pay you, promote this, do this. There's money.
Yeah.
There's just so much money to be had on the internet that people are just losing their minds.
Yeah, it's not a new thing. This is the thing that people don't understand. Websites have been predominantly created to do this. You get the video file sharing sites, the Pirate Bay, for instance, and torrent sites and porno sites, where they'll just be inundated with spam adverts. As soon as you click on a page, pop up.
Oh yeah.
And it gets to the point where they're doing it, even though if you're not clicking on the ad, they're getting paid per ad. So you have to these windows
IGN's terrible with that. And then they go and then they advertise a game or whatever, in their background, like Wolfenstein, I think they have up right now, and then they advertise that they have a review for it. You know what I mean? And it's obviously that review is going to be really good, and then just put it in your face. It's crazy.
Well, it's gotten to the point, I guess, in the world where it's you have to just take your own opinion for things,
Yeah.
Don't listen to what other people say. There's going to be some that you can always trust, and some that you really like and that you believe. But for example, Classic Game Room, that guy, the main guy, that's a dude who I trust. I when I see him, I don't feel like he's bought out, and I don't feel like stuff coming out of his mouth is strictly for money. I just get that feeling from him.
He never gives you an opinion as well. Do you notice that? He's always sort of this is the game, this is how it plays, and this is how sexy with it, and always ends it with a quip, and that's it. And he kind of works well with that kind of modesty in a sense.
Yeah, if he doesn't like a game, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you why he doesn't like it and why you might like it.
Yeah, and that guy is almost like the exception of the rule because he has 400,000 subs just on YouTube. I don't even know, or he has his website and he has Dailymotion and stuff. And when you get that big, and another thing is he gets so many people sending him stuff, so it's not like he has to go buy the newest stuff for content, and I feel like he's a guy that you can believe because he's big enough. He's, most people I feel like on YouTube who do video game stuff have 60,000 subs, maybe 70,000, bigger maybe 80. He has 400,000 subs. I mean, he can do whatever he wants.
That's a big thing as well. Think about it this way. Another guy, and this is what Matthew was actually coming out with, James Rolfe. He's another person who doesn't really use adverts. Or sells himself out to anybody. He's had a little bit of controversy, and that's usually because of the mouth of Mike Matei. As Zach pointed out pointedly, the Cheetah debacle, where Mike kind of went out and he kind of caved, if that makes sense, when people were complaining about the Cheetah thing, this guy's been done for this, that, and everything else. People were trolling, and Mike was like, oh, I didn't know. And that kind of put James in a lot of heat and stuff like that, and then and then we got the whole thing with the Angry Video Game Nerd, and the fact that he just keeps going and on with it without actually pushing, without releasing the movie, but he's never been the center of controversy in the sense where he's sold out. He's never bought out adverts. He's never attempted to promote someone. Or force himself to do anything else. He's just done what he's done and just stayed away from doing, or from trying to be like someone else's channel. You've seen a fucking million different YouTube channels come up of people going, here's my shit. I'm like the Happy Console Gamer. Look, I'm doing the same shtick that he's doing. There's no one doing what James is doing properly.
Right.
And he hasn't mirrored himself in controversy. Sorry, Zach, you were going to say something?
No, I agree that there's a bunch of people doing it, but they're not doing it right. There's a difference between yelling at a television and and I guess cursing, and then there's a difference between that and doing it with charm. And I think his stuff is always charming. I think he developed this persona, and yeah, you're right. he's always just kind of stuck to his own site. He's had his own site for forever, and I feel like YouTube is his secondary thing. And you look at Normal Boots now, which I'm not counting it because Normal Boots just came back, and their primary thing was always YouTube, and now they're going to a site. But I feel like he was always doing his own thing, and he's funny. He's funny enough. I feel like his new stuff is a little stale. I personally love Mike Matei. I think without Mike Matei and whatever his name is, Kyle Justin, who did I feel like without AVG or the Nerd, Mike Matei and Kyle Justin, I don't think he would have made it. I don't think he would have. I think it took all three of them to make what that show was amazing.
I think the one thing that I have an issue with Matei is he had his own thing. Like Mike Matei reviews. Used to do the short reviews of games in his library. Yeah. I love that stuff.
Me too.
I felt it worked really well. But it was when he was trying to be funny, when he's trying to do what James does.
Yeah.
It got pathetic. Does everyone remember Elmo, the controversy with Elmo?
Were you saying faggot, or was it a Teletubby?
Yeah, he was sitting there going, I'm gonna go in the Elmo voice. I'm gonna put it up your ass.
By the way, did he ever make good on that promise, or was he just talking?
He was just saying random things in an Elmo voice, and people were just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He made himself sound so damaged. Do you know what I mean? It was like he was. I'm not even going to say the word retardation because it's basically insulting, people who have retardation. The guy was just randomly
good on you.
Dropping nasty words out there, and people, literally the video was getting flagged to the point they had to make the video private, and it got re-uploaded on other people's sites. And I watched it, and I was like, what the fuck? It was like, if my kids watched that video, they would have think that he killed Christmas. That, that he fucking shot Santa with a fucking Uzi or something. And I looked at the video and I was like, none of it makes sense. Like how James had the kind of, he could go around, he could say certain things, and it would make sense. It was his character. It would basically surmise the story that he was trying to tell. He was just randomly shouting out nasty curse words like he had Tourette's, in an Elmo voice, and it was like funny, but at the same level, it was kind of awkwardly funny. Do you know where you've got the old man in Father Ted who shits himself and just randomly shouts "cunt"?
I don't think he ever says that.
Sound like my neighbor.
Or arse, Father Jack.
Yeah.
Arse. And just randomly would say something, and that's what Mike was doing. He was like, "Suck our dick, suck my dick." Elmo likes his dick sucked, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's like one of those train wrecks you can't look away from.
Yeah, it was like a car accident, and someone's just been torn in half, and you still can't look away, even though there's guts on the floor, and it was really bad. And I sat there and I was looking at it, and people were going over like fucking, just getting really pissed off about it. And I understand why people, it's kind of half and half. It blew up because people got really offended when they had no right to be offended. And it went fucking ballistic because Mike Matei tried to do comedy where he just sounded like a complete and utter idiot. And I think the kind of charm that he had was lost then. Even when he does the James and Mike Plays stuff, if you guys have seen that, he will try and make a joke. And even James is sitting there looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you know what I mean? He looks at him like, oh, you little boy, you said a swear word.
Like, oh, you're talking again.
Yeah, it literally does look like that. And I'm just like, all his charm that he had, it's just gone away, and it's kind of bad. Oliver, what do you think? Have you ever seen the Mike Matei stuff?
No.
You haven't seen. I will give you a link to the Elmo video because it's horrendous.
I really, really do not want to see it after the way you've been describing it.
You need to see it just for the point of saying that you've seen it. It's kind of like Two Girls in One Cup. You just
no.
Yeah. You want to look away, but you can't.
Yeah.
I regret that every second of watching that.
It's like
that video has a fully original soundtrack.
But yeah, it's one of those things you look at it and you think, oh my god. So saying that, we've got 15 minutes left, ladies and gents, and then we'll go Yeah, and Michael actually just said as well that everything that Mike says kind of falls flat, and I agree with him on that. I think he should have stuck to doing what he was doing best, which was talking about games that he enjoyed. You know, he was very knowledgeable, and again, Mike, if you're listening to this, you are very knowledgeable. I understand everything that you're saying. Just the Elmo thing and you trying to do comedy makes you sound like a complete moron. Sorry. If you want to call in, guys, give your thoughts. 718-664-9265. We've got 14 minutes left on the live stream, and then we're going to be going on to the archives, of course. So we're going to make sure that our panel sort of stays with us, and we're going to be listening in. If you want to check out the archive stream, you can do after the show finishes, which could be anything basically between the next half hour to an hour, guys. So make sure you stay on that as well and keep with us here on I Got Gameplay. Now, another thing that I've got to point out, does everyone remember Spoonygate with the guy with the glasses, that guy with the glasses.com?
No.
I think so.
Wait, the betrayal guy?
Do you know? Yeah, the betrayal guy. Basically, he got kicked off of that guy with the glasses.com because of the fact that he had an issue with someone was trolling him on his Twitter. He kind of blew up. He kind of
it was Obscurus Lupa. It was between him and Obscurus Lupa.
Yes. Travis, enlighten us, please.
Know a little bit about this because I am a huge fan of Spoonies, and if I ever got a chance to be in the same room with that guy, I probably would pass out because I'd be so overwhelmed with just being in the same room with him. But what happened? I was on his website this one time, and he, at the time, when he was in that movie, To Boldly Flee, he actually put up the videos on his website where he added his own commentary. And in the very first part, he talked about what happened with him being kicked off of that guy with the glasses. What happened was Spoonie put up a tweet, and I don't remember what it was about. And then Obscurus Lupa called him out on it, and it was supposed to be like a little playful thing, and it just got way out of control. And things were said, and that led to him being kicked off the site. And but basically, and what happened is he and the Walkers had a bit of a talk about what happened, and they just decided that he just wanted to go on his own way, and that's what happened.
Huh.
Oh, by the way, just as an extra game mistake in there, Mike Payden left a comment on our Facebook page saying, does not capitalizing the title note as game mistake. Mike, go and find some other radio personalities, mate. Go on. I heard your radio station needs people. Anyway.
Oh, they're dropping like flies over there.
Yeah.
They're dropping like flies. I don't even know. Do they still have anything on the air? I mean, do they have anything going?
He's begging for content creators now. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to jump onto a sinking ship, just head over there. I'm not going to give them the time of day. I'm not going to name who they are. But you know Mike Payden. Just go and ask him. Anyway.
Yeah, if you can visualize Titanic, I don't need to say anything further. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some good friends on there. I'm not going to name the radio network as well.
No.
And I'm not going to start any shit with people like that. He just makes me laugh, the fact he wants to come onto I Got Gameplay and say something.
Well, you made the mistake of even acknowledging his message.
No, I acknowledged it for the fact that he's a retard. Anyway.
They could rename the network like Minimal Stroke Radio, maybe, instead of...
How about...
I paid for this from my credit card. That's probably enough.
It's your show. It may be your show, but it's mine at the end. How about that?
Yeah.
Their tagline could be like, "Who needs sponsors when you buy dollar toilet paper every month?"
Could be that one as well. Well, let's do a Game of Thrones show.
That's a joke.
Anyway, now let's move on from that.
But let's steer right back.
Yeah, let's steer for one person. Yeah, there you go, Mike. You got your 15 minutes of fame. Anyway, what was that 15 seconds? Either one.
Either way, it lasted about as long as he does.
Yeah.
I've got an applause button that I put up on the board. If you want to fire that off just for our old friend Payden, go ahead. Why not?
Yeah, okay. I think we should. There you go, Payden. Let's go back to the YouTube videos of himself playing the guitar.
Hey, anyway. I say we act like we're on a video game and pull a SWAT and see if we can get him jerked out of his house.
Yeah, we could do that. Who knows his address? Let's try some SWAT.
Well, it's funny. I actually got SWAT's phone number and speed dial, so I can go and do that.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Just get him swatting.
But anyway, no. Going back.
Go back to Spoonie and that guy with the glasses.com. We kind of share the situation in terms of myself and Spoonie. So go back to Spoonie.
And you got to tell him his grandmama's name. That way they don't go in and shoot her. They go in and shoot him.
Yeah.
Since they obviously live together.
But anyways, what resulted, of course, is Spoonie just, since he was kicked. I mean, he's doing great for himself. He's got his website is doing tremendously well and everything, and he's still pretty good friends with some of the people he used to be affiliated with. I mean, he has a good ties with Brad Jones and Angry Joe and all these other guys. But he has said that if him and Obscurus Lupa were ever to be in the same room, it'd be very awkward, and they wouldn't really say much to each other, you know.
But he had a lot of issues with that guy with the glasses. You know, he had issues with the Doug Walker taking too much control over the films and stuff that he was doing. People weren't getting paid for it.
Yeah.
But they were getting their travel paid for, which he acknowledged. Now, the thing that I've got an issue with in this whole situation was he was kicked out for creating a bit of controversy. But Angry Joe, who went out on the internet, and again, I haven't got an issue with Joe. I have no issue with him whatsoever. But I've got to talk about the situation. He went out and basically slandered a troll. A guy was trolling him about, now you guys know about this, a lot of people talk about Jew Wario. If you see my YouTube channel, you know I did a video about Jew Wario and about the fact that we had a tragic loss with Justin quite recently.
Carmichael.
Yeah, and a lot of YouTubers did videos out there, Game Chasers being one of them, Travis as well, and you know, a lot of guys in that guy with glasses. And Joe was called out for basically doing the video. One, he had a script. Two, saying that he wouldn't monetize the video, and then monetizing it. He got angry and then leaked the troll's name and address on his Twitter account. But yet he wasn't removed from that guy with the glasses, and it kind of irks me to the point where I don't really watch his videos anymore. Now, what's everyone's opinion on that? You know, again, for like Spoonie getting taken down for something and Joe not.
Well, I remember watching that video, and well, first of all, having a script I don't think has anything to do with anything. Some, you know, the nerd, you know, this obviously isn't the same thing, but you know, the nerd says that he right, you know, he needs a script for every video because he says like he's just not that good just coming up with things off the top of his head.
No, but when you're talking about someone like a deceased friend that you're supposed to know for years, does that kind of
well, that's true. Yeah, I guess I mean, if I was to do that, I would definitely have points that I would like to hit. I mean, you know, I don't know. It's because like I kind of forget things when I talk, and I you know, that's why sometimes Kyle and I have to record things like 3 times or 4 times because we forget to say things we want to say. But when I watched that video, it was demonetized. But I remember that there was, when I scrolled down to the comments, there was a big argument about that and how people were being actually banned, I guess, from his actually, I guess, YouTube account, if you can do that. That's what he made it seem like. And people were saying, you know, it's real messed up that you're monetizing this video about, you know, you trying to pay your respects to somebody. And he was saying that the video wasn't monetized and it was never monetized and, you know, whatever. So that, if it was, it's messed up because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. You know, you're trying to make money off, you know, trying to say, you know, respectful things to somebody. But at the same point, script, I know what you're saying. You know, I don't have a problem with. I just feel like I would have a script, not like a script, you know, so I could remember. You know, obviously, yeah, you should know everything about them, but I don't know. The monetized thing, yeah, screw that. The other one, you know, whatever.
What would you say about that, Craig? What would you say about that?
What, him monetizing the video?
Not just that, just the fact that, you know, he caused so much controversy and he leaked someone's personal details online because, you know, the guy basically called him out on it.
I think at the time it was a sensitive issue and everybody was angry at the troll.
Yeah.
So he got away with it because of that and the fact that, you know, he has millions of viewers, you know.
Yeah.
I think Spoonie just got caught up in some crazy shit, and they didn't want to deal with the controversy, the internal controversy, which was going on at the time, so they kicked him out for that.
Yeah, the thing is, he is very, he even said, he goes, I'm good friends with the guys on there. He's been on one of the Nostalgia Critics videos when he did the video on the Nicolas Cage film, The Wicker Man. And he was on that video speaking with Brad Jones and stuff, and he still holds personal close ties to a lot of guys on there. For me, though, it seems really bad where you're trying to give a sense of discipline to one guy, and then the other guy goes out and does the same exact thing, but even worse, because I consider what Joe did a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't get penalized for it. It's just like, we'll just, sweep it under the rug. That's just Joe. We'll leave it at that. And this is another thing as well. Do you think that people should, in terms of like, being an internet celebrity in a sense, if someone goes out and trolls you, do you think you should respond in that way?
No.
No one should ever
ignore it.
Yeah.
Why
I'm not saying ignore it, but no one should ever leak anyone's personal information ever. If someone ever did that to him, he'd have a whole video about it while he'd be yelling and screaming that somebody did that to him.
Yeah,
so
we can do it to Peyton.
I just feel like that's one thing that, anonymity, that's one thing that the internet should always keep, I feel, for at least trolling. Trolling is, you're not murdering somebody. I just feel, whatever, you're a dick. But no, you should never be, it's just wrong to ever leak anyone's, because some people, like you saw, like we talked about, someone called a SWAT team on someone's house, whatever. This is the kind of crap that will happen. I wouldn't be surprised if someone had a big enough audience where someone would break in and beat the crap out of the dude.
Yeah, that's the big thing here, because that could have blown up in Joe's face. That guy could have committed suicide. Something could have happened, and that would have been on his conscience. There's a fine line. If there's a troll, and I've said, Steve Benway said this to me when I did an interview with him. When he has trolls, he goes, the block button is your friend. If you don't like what someone says, just like what I did to that arsehole Payton, I blocked him. You don't need to go on the route of acknowledging someone in that form or fashion and then like basically leaking their personal information to the point where they could end up risking their lives. That's the big thing. And then another thing we need to talk about as well, using your followers to attack someone personally. What do you guys think of that?
Well, if we're still talking about Peyton,
no, in general, but about YouTubers in general, because I've seen it happen before. Now,
that's a dangerous thing, because somebody like
Hitler, who did it to the Jews.
Yeah.
Well, like here's one, like Anita Sarkeesian. I know I've said a lot of shit about her, and I basically had an open video. We're going to talk about her in a little bit. But some YouTubers have gone to the point of using their own followers to attack her and flag her videos. Do you think that's right?
No, it's not. I mean, you're using people, and it could be a lot of people. You don't know what these people, some crazy fans out there, you don't know what they're capable of. You're putting personal information in the hands of like some psychopaths. You don't know.
Yeah. And that's the big thing here,
Oh, no, I kind of disagree with that, guys. I think I'm going to go out on the other side of the fence here. That's like saying you can't shoot an AK-47 because you don't know what it's capable of. You'd rather shoot a BB gun. It's not like you're telling everybody what to do. I mean, if you go in and make a personal attack on somebody with your words or with a video or something like that, yeah, that's fine if you're not advocating violence. I don't feel like you have anything to do with what somebody else does. I mean,
but if you openly go out and tell your followers to flag someone,
you're enabling them for that.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, what does flag somebody? What does that mean? You want to make them look stupid?
You get someone's channel shut down.
Let's get them shut down. I mean, that doesn't mean anybody's. I mean, who's going to die from that?
But again, you're basically getting people to bully and harass a person, which again,
I think that's completely fine.
But why?
Because
I was just asking because
people are so panty wasted these days. I just get sick of how sensitive everybody is. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on this. I feel like a dick, but I mean, it's just how I feel about it.
You have a right to your opinion. That's the thing about having this type of forum. You have a right to say whatever you need to say. Even if we don't agree, I will defend your right to say it.
I kind of feel like if you let's say it's me, like if somebody's attacked, let's say I say something, not everybody agrees with it, which happens all the time. And a bunch of, somebody says, hey, I don't like that. I want all my people to go let this person know how they feel about it because it sucks. And then all these people hit me with a barrage of BS. If I'm so cowardly and convicted enough to shut my stuff down, or it gets shut down, or I cower down and back out of the fight because of what these people are saying, that means I don't need to be doing what I'm doing in the first place. I need to go find a different line of work.
Okay. No, I think I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. Going out and bullying someone, and that's one thing where I think we've all been there. We've had various people bullying us individually in our lifetime. We've had people try to put us down, and I've been a victim of it more than once, including online bullying. Now, I'm not going to go too much into my information, as in why it's happened.
Payton.
No, not just that as well, but that we've had issues. But I've had an issue where someone has become so obsessed with me, where they've done it.
Oh, that'd be me, sweetheart. I think about you every night when I go to bed.
But they've done everything
wrap you in plastic and beat you senseless with a stick.
They've done everything they can to harass me, right? It's kind of blown up in their face, but it's happened. And what I did, though, I ignored it. Yeah, I have taken my shot here and there, but I've ignored it for the most part, right? And I felt that truthfully, it's made me look like the good person. It's made me look like a better person because I haven't acknowledged them. I haven't acknowledged anything they've done. I haven't acknowledged anything they've said because I've just left it at that because I don't want to be a part of that kind of negativity. And when you go out there openly and harass someone like that, you're kind of being that same way. Way, as I said, we've all
the best defense is a great offense. You know what the best gimmick of all time is? The Rock with a microphone. That's the greatest thing of all time. If in real life, if you can pull some stuff off like The Rock with a microphone, let's say somebody starts making fun of you and they start calling you names and all this other stuff. All they're trying to do is beat you down mentally and emotionally. And if you've got a great offense to come back with that and make them look stupid in return, I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, negativity. I mean, we're going to get hit with that kind of stuff in the line of business that I'm in with MMA. Man, I've got fighters talking constantly, and I get fighters that call me and they're like, "I can't stand somebody's trash talking." I'm like, "This is a blood sport. We're not going to go. We're not going to hold hands and go skipping out of the ring and go antiquing together. This is a blood sport." There's going to be some trash talking. You got to be better at your game in the cage and outside the cage than the other guy. Period. And that, to me, that's the way I do life.
Yes, but what if one fighter tells his fans to go at another fighter?
Well, then the other fighter's going to tell his fans the same damn thing, and whoever's got the better fan base, whoever does their job the best, is going to come out on top in that battle.
So what if one fighter tells his fans to go and harass that guy's wife and mother?
Well, now there's logical reason to this. There is a line to be drawn. Now, if all you're doing is calling somebody out on how they, let's just keep using the fighter thing for instance, how they fight and their style and all this other stuff, or their record and who they haven't beat and who they have beat. That's one thing. Well, then when you start bringing people's families into it, that's a step further. That's not harassment. That's ridiculous.
That is a form of harassment. It's like what you pointed out when we're talking about the whole issue with people and like going openly saying certain things and then having the other person saying like, I'm gonna put this out there. I shouldn't put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm currently being harassed by child services, for instance, because of a petty ex-wife. Right. Yeah. I'm basically being harassed by these people. She's personally given them all my personal information, told them a bunch of lies, and they're harassing me every day.
Yeah.
Was she in the right to do that?
No, but that's where I'm talking about the line gets drawn.
Yeah.
Look, if I'm talking about in a professional sense. If you're calling somebody like we were talking about the people on YouTube, obviously there's some form of professionalism involved in what these people are doing because it's something that they invest their time and maybe a little bit of money into.
How did someone's channel taken down, though?
Well, I mean, think about it. Why would they take somebody's channel down if it didn't deserve to be taken down? There's got to be other circumstances or factors involved that we don't know about. It's just like a grocery store. Let's say that you got a grocery store and somebody else puts one in right across the street. Well, the other people, they want to put you out of business. They're going to have to outplay you. They're going to have to out-earn you, and they're going to have to build a reputation. They can't just call somebody and be like, hey, man, can you shut this place down? Because they're doing the same thing we are.
Well, $159,000 Anita Sarkeesian earned on her Kickstarter, right? So I'll bring this out. You know, and she's basically... she used the money for Tropes vs. Gamers thing to do these videos, and these very negative videos against men, because she ended up spreading hate about men, right? That's what the whole game was about. She wanted to do it because she wanted to basically use gaming, even though she had no idea about gaming, as a negative sort of platform.
She's trying to get bent over. It's a cry for help.
But you know what I mean. And that even though I don't justify what she's done, even though I have an issue with what she says and the ways that she said it, I will defend her right to say it, if that makes sense. Yeah. No one should be gagged. The thing is, you've got to put your side across, and you've got to let them know, you know, I'm offended by what you've said. And even Oliver's put across to me, he said, even though my video that I did, that I kind of sounded like I was offended, which I was. I was very offended. I was very angry about what she said, and about the fact that she feels that women, you know, are treated as underlings towards men, in a sense. And I feel there's a huge double standard now. There is a huge double standard between women and men.
I love how she's a super fucking feminist, yet she gets on these videos, she's got lipstick on, she's all made up.
One button undone.
Yeah. I don't guess I know who this is. Now, there's one thing some of you guys know about me. I like the ladies, and so I mean, I clearly I need to see this video and or whatever you guys are doing. I don't even know. I thought you were talking about one of the Kardashian sisters at first. I didn't know who the hell this was.
No, she's basically she's of like sort of Persian descent. She's an American woman. She's an uber feminist, but she's not a feminist in the sense of talking about equality. She's one of those who is
like a man hater.
Yeah,
yes.
Man hater.
I love those.
Those
are the most fun.
There's a difference between feminists and man haters, and she has a collective fan base. She has a load of people who will go around, and you know, when I did my video on her, I had 37 people that didn't like it. So you know, 37 people who agree with her stance. Yeah.
Now let me throw something out here real quick, Burhan. You know that I've given you a lot of good advice over the years, and I've been real spot on when it comes to women.
Yes.
Here's the difference. You know, feminists, they are all about equality, just kind of like you talked about. They want, you know, all kinds of equal rights and equal pay and all this stuff, and don't look at me differently just because I have boobs. The man haters, those are the ones that are crying out for a daddy. And when I'm talking about a daddy, I'm not talking about somebody that, you know, takes care of their mother. I'm talking about somebody that takes care of them. That's all these man-hating ladies are looking for, because they haven't found somebody that can completely blow their minds in every way, shape, and form. They've been with these little girly men, and that doesn't get them by in life. So and that's why they're man-hating, because for some reason it didn't work out, and they can't find a great relationship, and so they keep getting shoved into the gutter. So they turn into man-haters. All they're looking for is somebody that is going to throw them against the wall and put the screws to them. Period. Write that down.
I'll show you quote on it, Clint.
Do I?
But yeah, the thing is, though, even though she's given all that man hate, you can't justify someone, and I've seen people do it, who have gone on their channels and like, well, we've had X amount of users go to a channel and flag it. We've had X amount of users come and abuse her on Twitter. We've had X amount of users go and abuse her Facebook page. You can't do that sort of thing. This is where I draw the line. It's abuse. It's the point you're making her life a nightmare. One, I don't agree with the fact she should have got funding for her videos. I think the fact that, you know, her getting over 150 grand for these videos, just so that she could use it as a platform to talk negative shit about men, is disgusting. And the fact she wants to actually put these videos in schools as tools to teach children, young ladies like my young 2 daughters, about feminism, like your daughter, Clint, to teach them about her version of equality by putting men down is disturbing.
Well, that's why it all goes back to intent. Let's say I'm carrying a gun down the street. If that son of a bitch is loaded and in my hand and cocked back and ready to roll, my intent is I want to kill somebody. Now, let's say I'm in the state of Oklahoma. We've got an open carry. Oh, I can have a gun on my hip if I want to, walking down the street. Or I can do a concealed carry. There's a difference in your intent here. Like if I've got it concealed and all of a sudden I'm in a store and somebody robs the store, I'm going to pull out a gun and shoot whoever's got a gun on them. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to walk down the street with a gun in my hand loaded and ready to go. That's what she's doing. She is the idiot walking down the street looking to kill somebody. But it all goes back to intent. There's a lot of people, the feminists. Feminists are cool. I'm down with them, whatever they want to do.
No,
they're the ones with a concealed carry. They're the ones that are waiting. They got something in their back pocket, and if anything happens, they're ready to defend themselves. They're not the extreme people here.
I know some amazing feminists out there who they basically don't teach equality. They do equality. They'll go out there and they'll show you how they can do things, and they're great people. I admire them, and I've told there's a few girls out there, and I've got an interview with one who I admire her because she's taken her life by her own hands and just doing things on her own terms, and she is a poster woman for feminists. Now, the thing that I don't like is going around attacking people. I think the moment you start attacking someone, it doesn't end there, and this is where the problem is. It breeds hate. So say, like, for instance, Zach attacks Craig. Craig gets his
Canadian
to attack
Sorry.
Zach. No, but you know what I mean? If you get two sides to attack one another, it's going to turn into a problem.
Right.
And it's going to get to the point where there's not going to be any winners here because eventually Zach gets his channel shut down. Do you think it's going to stop there? No. Zach's going to open up another channel, get his followers to go after Craig. Craig's channel gets shut down. And then people lose a great load of content because these two guys are fighting. These two, there's a likely case of harassment here, which, it has been done. People have been on the net and have said very nasty stuff and have been jailed for it. You've got that implication. And then you've also got the fact that these people's fans are going around doing some nasty shit to one another to the point where it's just going to get brutal. It shouldn't happen. If you disagree with me, I understand totally. Now, Zach, what's your opinion on this?
I just say that it's keep your channel as professional as you want it to be. I mean, you're never going to hear me bad mouthing someone on there, even if I like them or don't like them. I just don't care. Like, I try to keep my life and my work life and my YouTube life professional. So even though we joke and cuss all the time, we're still we keep things in professional ways. So I would never put anyone's personal information or even real name, I guess, out for anyone else to see. It's just, not only is it wrong, it's wrong because the reason that you probably have it to begin with is because somebody trusted you with it. And, putting it out there, it's just wrong. I don't know. I just don't need to do that. And as far as getting someone else's site shut down, I don't care about any of that shit. I don't know. You look at how cutthroat some things do get between people, and I don't know. It's funny that it happens on YouTube and stuff when people are making their living from there, but it's something that wouldn't fly in a professional environment. As far as this UFC stuff or whatever the fighting thing is, I think normally this shit talking is used to promote events and fights. People are like, oh, you suck balls, you're the worst fighter ever, whatever. Even though there's probably 10 million worse ones than him. That I see as, what I say is the number one part of competition is shit talking, but I don't feel like YouTube is a competition. Obviously I do agree that it's definitely, as he was saying, it's a blood sport or whatever, and I do agree with that. But, I don't know. I just see it as, how professional do you want your channel to be and how professional are you willing to keep it, when somebody else acts like a dick to you.
I'm glad you said that because YouTube may not be a competition to a lot of folks, but when you're doing the same thing somebody else is doing or somebody else is doing the same thing you're doing, it's automatically a competition. No,
I know what you're saying, but it's not because if what you're like, what you have to offer, even if you're doing the same thing, isn't the same thing that somebody else has to offer. So even if you both are talking about video games, you both are doing it in two different ways. There's no way that you can just mirror someone's channel exactly. Just by being two different human beings, your channel will be different. You have a different mind, and you'll be offering already different content. So
no, I got you there. That's why I'm not talking about it being a replica. I mean, nothing's being duplicated here. It's just that it's automatically a competition. Ego always outweighs professionalism. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care if it's a sport. I don't care if it's marketing. I don't care what it is. Ego always outweighs professionalism. That's why everywhere you go in life, there's always somebody who will steamroll your ass just to get ahead of you.
Well, here's a big one. Now, this is just to point this out. She's basically stated now as well that in addition to aggressive actions against me, I've always shared the harassers launched DDoS attacks on my site. They attempted to hack my email and over social media accounts. They reported my Twitter and YouTube accounts as terrorism, hate speech, or spam. They've also attempted to do a dox and distribute my personal contact information, including my address, phone number, and various websites and forums, including hate sites. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, and clearly that is where you draw the line. I think any sort of I think this is completely acceptable until you get to that point. When you start attacking somebody's family and their personal life and things that they've been through that have, could have torn them down to a certain point or could have caused any kind of destruction. Or if you start throwing someone's livelihood out there, like a phone number or an address, and that's wanting people to show up at their house and do them harm. Talking, man, to me, talking is talking. Talk is I put as much investment in talk as I do in buffalo nickels. They're worthless. And so, I mean, it's just all about how far you take it. But, yeah, there is absolutely a line to draw.
And that's the thing. And that's the one thing that I find on this situation is, I know she is an asshole, and she's a grade A asshole. I agree wholeheartedly with
Sarkeesian you're talking about?
Anita Sarkeesian.
Yeah, she looks like. I don't know if this is politically correct, but she looks like a tranny. Can you say that?
Either way, dude. It might be some guy's thing. Some guys might like trannies.
I pulled her up here on Wikipedia and got a picture of her. She just looks like a man. Like she looks like that one dude from the Wonder Years, Paul Pfeiffer. The one everybody thought was Marilyn Manson.
The thing is, my issue with her and what she says, as I said, is she asked people to donate to a cause, and it was exactly not the cause that she was going on. And now let's segue from that a little bit as well. Asking people for money when you're well off. Let's go to Kickstarters. Now, we've had the issues with Zach Braff asking money to have his film funded by a Kickstarter. We've got another point where Anita Sarkeesian asked for over 60 grand there. She got nearly 159 grand for her YouTube series, Feminist Frequency. Now, we also had the issue with Smosh asking for money to do an app game, 250 grand for an app game. Where does it stop? Do you guys believe that this should happen? That you should be allowed to ask for money for these Kickstarters when there's games like Pixel Noir, which are not even getting funded?
I think you should be able to. I think if you're willing to put in the effort and the work and go out and get it, go out and get it.
But you're literally asking people to do a Kickstarter for you, and they're funding it for you.
So
yeah, but you can ask. Doesn't mean people have to give you.
Exactly. People are going to feel convicted to do whatever they want to do, and if people don't want to do it, they're going to completely ignore you. But why wouldn't you ask?
Okay,
99% of people who fail in life is because they didn't ask somebody to help them.
Very true. Now, that is a valid point for both you guys there. Zach, what do you think? Do you think that that in the case of Smosh, Zach Braff here, and in the case of Anita Sarkeesian and these guys, that they're asking for all this money? Is it up to us, the fans here, who are just saying, you know what? They're just asking, we're the idiots handing money over.
Yeah, well, I mean, like everyone was saying, I agree. It's not necessarily up to the fans. They're not, but they want to donate. They are fans. I'll tell you, the time that I saw somebody asking for $5,000 to get a pacemaker for their cat or whatever, that is the time where I never thought, I was like, there's never anything dumber than this. So if this, I don't think that did get funded, but like if that, like it's kind of like if that gets funded, I have hope for the rest of everything else, whatever. At least that to me is it's a come on, like really, your cat needs a pacemaker. I mean, let's be real here. That cat, just let it go. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. So yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it. If you can ask and people are willing to pay, that's I have no problems with that.
Okay, Travis.
Sorry, I got a little distracted here. Got into a little bit of a fighting thing with Mr. Payton. He's on my Facebook thing and harassing me. So sorry about that.
Block him. Block him. Seriously. Mike, look, we don't like you. Go away. That's pretty much it. We don't understand why you're obsessing with us here. Yeah?
It doesn't much matter at this point because we're in the archive, so he can't really listen. So.
No, but you can listen to it after the archive version, Payton. We do understand. You want to be on the show. You want to be part of the show. We don't want you. Okay?
He's saying a lot of things right now, really getting me pissed off. So that's why I'm a little quiet right now.
If you want to vent them, go ahead. I don't care.
Vent right now?
You go for it.
He's saying that basically that all of his shows are doing really well, and then he was comparing his shows to mine. Like,
Travis? Okay, he's probably gone there for a second.
Followers.
Don't worry about him. The thing is, right, in terms of him and in terms of you guys are like, you're doing exactly so many different things than he's doing, and he's got 2 shows on one network. So, and he hosts a Game of Thrones show, and then his other show is a wrestling show. He shouldn't be comparing anything. So in the end, Payton, have fun, leave us alone, and stop being a man-child. Maybe you could get something else with your life that you could do. Maybe get a girlfriend, have some children, if someone could tolerate you enough for that.
I hate to say this, guys, but right now Payton's got the mental victory. He knows what we're doing as we speak, and he's capturing somebody's attention.
It's not that. He's harassing Travis because he knows he can't get to anybody else. That's the sad thing. Now, let's go back to the topic at hand now. With the Kickstarter situation, so you guys are saying, like, if Smash asks for money, $250,000 for a Kickstarter funded for an app game that they produced on their Food Fight series, that's fine, because I have seen some really bad ones. There's a situation, I think Larry Bundy Jr. does this quite a lot on his Facebook page. If you guys check him out, facebook.com/Larry Bundy Jr. He did a few of them. One of them was people tried to get a Pokemon MMO funded. Now, I think you guys will probably know the problem with that one because it's licensed to Nintendo in Game Freak. That got taken down. Another team tried to get a funding for a Ghouls and Ghosts franchise. Again, that got taken down because it's owned by Capcom. Do you see what I mean in terms of bad Kickstarters there?
Yeah.
Well, these people should have the research done beforehand, saying, I've spoken to Nintendo, and they said if I can raise this amount of money, they will go. Not just say, give me the money and then we'll see.
Yeah, but that's the problem though with Kickstarter. They don't really care. They'll allow anybody to put a Kickstarter project. And it makes.
Let's fire one up. Let's think of something good.
Yeah, one today.
Need like internal hemorrhoid surgery. I mean, can we not get a little dough for that?
I think you probably would be able to.
Well, let's do it. Half the proceeds go to the Retro Unlimited Network.
Yeah, fine, go for it.
All right, I'm on it.
A penny of that. I'd rather give that to Clint if you guys want to do that.
I mean, as we speak, I'm on a podcast. I'm watching UFC 173, and I'm creating a Kickstart for hemorrhoid surgery.
Okay. Well, I brought up a list here of the 37 saddest failed Kickstarters. One was a woman by the name of Henrietta doing a solo show called Please Love Me. Another one was a gentleman basically making T-shirts that say "I love you, Mum" on them.
Goodness.
Yeah, he needed to make his mum a heartwarming shirt, and he wanted $120 to do it.
Wow.
He got 0.
That's sad.
The other one was...
How did he need $120 to make that shirt?
I have no idea.
He get some glue and some glitter and make that with $5.
Maybe he wanted to do it on an Armani shirt. I have no idea. On July the 7th, a man wanted to present a very own one concert with his best work, of his favorite adventure stories, folk tales, story songs, harmonica music, and wait for it, sword fighting. Yes, sword fighting. All framed in the tale of his own personal journey to become a professional entertainer. He wanted $300. He got 2 backers of $21. Unsuccessful.
21 each
does he
or
get that
21
money
altogether?
Yeah, they don't get. It doesn't get funny unless you're on Indiegogo. If you're on Indiegogo, he could have kept those $21 all for himself to tell his journey of being a personal entertainer. Another one was called A Pig in a Pocket, A Snake Wants Its Turn Too. Basically, a guy wanted $5,000 to feed guinea pigs to a snake. So yeah, that's great. $7,000.
What does that have to do with $5,000 though?
Apparently, he wanted $5,000 worth of guinea pigs to feed to a snake.
Oh, okay.
Or a $5,000 snake.
Or $5,000 snake. There you go. One teenager basically wanted to make a book called The Awesome Book of the Legend of Jacob. Out of a $7,000 goal, he got nothing.
Jesus.
Someone wanted to do a Kickstarter on capturing hilarious movie reactions and needed $75,000 to do that. Makes you want to... Yeah. Another person wanted to do a 9/11 memorial, which had 2 small-scale symbolic World Trade Centers on it.
Now, they raised some money.
With a aluminum sheet, yeah, they did. $470.
Out of 275,000. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's... But they didn't get any of that money because it was Kickstarter. So
guys, are you not seeing a theme here? When we go after the good stuff in life and we want to do good for people, nobody cares. We need to find something that will absolutely run somebody into the ground, and we can make it like I don't know. Let's do it. Hell, you guys do a Kickstarter to run my ass in the ground. You know how many people will support that shit? My 2 ex-wives will be on it in a heartbeat.
Am I dead yet? The end of days will not occur to 2012. Right? Apparently, someone had dreams when he was younger, thinking about some girl that he wanted while in high school, and he wanted his Kickstarter funder to talk about those dreams and also the end of days. $57,000.
Yeah, one of the problems with Kickstarter in general is where are they getting these numbers from? They're not sitting there with a business plan, figuring this out. They're just putting these ridiculous numbers out. It's like, what do you say, $57,000 for that?
Yeah.
I mean, there have been video games funded for less than that.
Yeah.
So I mean, these numbers just come out of thin air, and I think once people see, so if someone were to even go there just by seeing the name of it to begin with, and then they see this ridiculous number, they're just going to be like, no. First of all, you're never going to get it. Second of all, it's like, yeah, you're just greedy.
Okay, 7,500 for Rent Boys.
That was you, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't. In this game, each player takes the role of one of billionaire Jonathan Glamcock's hot boys.
I'm sorry. Can you run over that again?
$5. He raised $5 of $7,500, and the game he wanted to do, he wanted to put a game together of basically getting rent boys, which means do you know sort of male fluff as their Clint?
I don't think I know what you're talking about, to be honest with you.
A rent boy is basically a young lad who likes to service men.
Yeah, well, I don't think we have those in my neck of the woods, and if we do, they don't make it known.
A guy wanted $5,000 to put a documentary about how much he hates juggalos.
Yeah, and what is the deal with that? Anybody that knows, I mean, the juggalos, they have their own wrestling organization.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, Scott Hall was in the Juggalo World Order.
Yep.
I'm a fan. The most hated documentary of all time.
He wanted to put a documentary on how much he hates juggalos. Basically, handmade reminders from Santa $1,000 goal, 0 backing. It does make me laugh. It's like I could go through the lot of these. Another one who wanted basically to do a music video for a famous rock band with a Hollywood star as the lead for $10,000. Right. A girl wanted $800 for a mixtape.
What?
They just added extra zeros at the end of their number.
Another woman wanted to do a photo book of herself naked.
How much?
She wanted $19,750.
Did you get the book if you contributed?
Did she raise any money?
Shit, no offense, Zach. I don't think that you really want this book. She's kind of really old.
Yeah, but they have websites out there called Chubby Chasers. I mean, there's all kinds of people who would want to go after somebody. It doesn't matter what she looks like.
Erotic professionals.
Rule 43.
Erotic professionals are an elite group of individuals who provide high-end sexual and escort services to financially qualified individuals. They need a start-up cost of $7,500.
I smell tons of bullshit. I really don't know.
To me, this makes me laugh. The amount of shitty Kickstarters, and there's probably more people. There's probably more. This is just 37 of them. There's a lot more Kickstarters out there. People just basically wanting to use this sort of service to, even including people servicing themselves. Anyway,
what?
Burhan, what was that Santa reminder one?
The handwritten letters from Santa or something?
Is that what it was?
Yeah. It was literally a reminder that I've got to see if I can go back into it because it was. I will go back to it to just have a look. Oh, crack!
I just found that rooster-haired bitch trying to do the mixtape. I would shut her shit down. I wouldn't send anybody to her house, but I'd get her shut down in a heartbeat.
Here we go. I've got the listing. I'll back up again. It's 37 of the worst Kickstarters out there. I don't think these are the worst, but I just think it does.
They sound just sad.
They do sound really sad, don't they? It's one of those things you look at it and think, oh, that's just sad.
Hey, did you already talk about the Secret Dragon book series movie trailer? Did you talk about that one?
Oh, the Secret Dragon one. No, go for it.
Yeah, they wanted $1,400 to do this movie trailer for some. Here's the tagline for the thing. While Gavin's father is away at war, Thaddeus, a most enchanting, sugar-loving dragon, keeps watch over the kids as they have many adventures in Cornwall, England. Where is this Cornwall, England? And can we find a dragon that loves sugar?
There is no dragons in England.
You think that's bad? $75,000 for a new TV studio.
$75,000 for a TV studio?
For a TV studio. Because they want to reach young children. That just sounds like a pedophile's freaking playpen. That's wrong.
They're probably going to call it like Mega Powers TV or something.
Yeah. First, unlike other businesses, my reminders here. This is one for you, Zach. The reminders from Santa. Unlike many other businesses, my reminders from Mr. Claus will be sent out to you round to remind kids to keep up the good work, because Christmas will be here before they know it.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea for parents. Parents would love that.
How much was the funding on that?
$1,000.
And what they raise?
Just so that she could send Post-it notes to your children.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious.
What about the Love of Music? Did you see the Love of Music photo book?
Yeah, that's the one with the very old woman there standing there looking like.
Yeah, I thought it was Courtney Love at first, but
she looks like a crack addict.
Women posed in various romantic and erotic relationships with musical instruments. Put the whole new meaning to the word cello.
Yeah, cello, you too. And, but this is the thing, guys. The problem is there are a ton of good ideas. We've seen funded Mighty Number 9. There's been funded loads of different game development companies, loads of different new movies, loads of different new shows coming out and new material, and people are funding these great projects. But then you see shit like this, and you think there's probably a ton of these things that have gone under they've literally gone under the cracks and just have been funded.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's like
the worst thing. I guarantee you, some of them that were like 10 times worse and like more pathetic than those got funded.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and you've got to think about that. And the one thing that bugged me about Zach Braff's situation was how many of those people are actually going to, like, they've invested in his movie, they're not gaining anything out of it. You know.
Well, yeah, but is one of the things that if they invest, they get a copy of the movie or whatever?
Yeah, but at the same level, like if you're a producer in Hollywood, you'd basically get some of those funds that you invested back and then some.
Oh, okay.
And this is what the problem is. You're getting your fans who, in my sense, are very naive. They don't understand the business to invest in your product, and they're not getting anything out of it. They're getting like, oh, you get a copy of my movie, you get to probably see the premiere. If you donate the same amount like a big time producer would donate, you get to have dinner with us, go to the premiere, and see all this stuff. And the only person who's making money out of it and getting recognition is Zach Braff. You know, and again, I'm not hating on Zach Braff. I'm not trying to make this out to be a hate campaign, but it's kind of one of those things you sit there and you think to yourself, shit. You know, it's like people, and as you guys have so aptly put out there, it's not their fault. They're the ones putting it out there. We're the ones funding them. And that's the problem. You know, I like stuff that's more tangible. Like I've donated to Pixel Noir. Their Kickstarter didn't get up and running. I donated to Mighty Number 9. I'm going to get a copy for my Wii U. You know, to me that's tangible. That's like, okay, I'm going to have a copy of the game. I'm going to enjoy the game. I don't care if I make any money off of that because I'm getting a free copy of the game. And you can say, yeah, well, you can justify they're getting a free copy of the movie. But to me, it just seems investing. The term investment is very far-fetched because they're literally being a charity in a sense, because this is charity. You don't pay tax on any of the money you get from a Kickstarter because it's classed as donations. So you're making money off of that hand over fist, in a sense. You know, even if your project doesn't. And we've seen situations as well where Kickstarters have happened. I think, Travis, you've known about a few Kickstarters where you've basically they've invested money into them and no one saw anything back. And you know, the prime example here, Oculus Rift. Every person who gets a free Rift, now the company's been bought out by Facebook. And the owners, the originators of this thing, who swore they wouldn't be selling it over to third parties, sold out, made billions off of the fucking thing, where everyone who's invested in it has made, what? Zero.
Pretty much nothing.
How fair is that?
It isn't, because that just shows how nasty big corporations are. They just don't care about the little man. It's like they see something they know that will make them money. Well, we're going to buy them out so that we can make money. Just give the cash to the guys who started this, and they can be on their way, and we're going to reap all the benefits. And anybody who invested in this, well, we're going to give them the shaft because they're little people.
That's what makes this America.
Yeah, but that's
Ain't that America, home of the free, yeah.
Hey guys, I found something. I found a new reality show. I don't know how I came across this, but if it was a Kickstarter program, I would have contributed to this. 12 dumbass American bitches. Well, that's not in there. I just put that in. 12 Americans fly to England and find out that they're all competing to become a new love interest for Prince Harry. The problem is obviously the guy is not even Prince Harry. Now he's a lookalike. There's a guy named Matthew Hicks. He's an environmental consultant. He's pretending to act a bit like Prince Harry in the hopes of finding true love or something. So there's these 12 American broads, and they go over and they think they're competing for Prince Harry's love. And then when I don't know. I'm going to have to watch this. It's going to be a new show on Fox.
That's the problem right there, because Fox can't make really good reality shows. They can't, because here's the thing.
American Idol.
Well, fuck American Idol.
Well, dude, it's the number one reality anything
Was
ever.
that Fox?
It's a copy.
Yeah, no, it's Fox.
It's a copy. It's not a good idea.
No.
Well, American Idol, what that is the American version of Pop Idol, which started there in the UK.
Yeah.
But
right. But I mean, nevertheless, Fox has it over here in America, and it grosses more money than any other reality show we've got.
Hey, Big Brother over here.
Maybe so, but it's just. I mean, I missed who won it, but I know it's some kid. His name's what's that guy's name?
Oh, was it on recently?
Yeah, they just had their season finale, and I just went in, and I got kind of curious, and I watched like towards the end of the season. I didn't see the season finale, so, but I will say that the finalists who did make it, I wish them a whole lot of luck with the future. I really do. Anybody who gets on that show, I'm going to be honest. Anybody who gets on that show and they make it all the way to like maybe the top 10, whatever, and it goes on and on. I know some of them get really good careers after that, even though if they haven't won. The problem I have with that is I don't hear anything original from any of the singers, It's like stuff I've already heard before. I'm not talking about that they do covers and all that stuff, because that's a given. That's what they do. I'm just saying like post-American Idol. It's corporations in terms of the music industry. I don't think they're progressing very much. In fact, I think they're kind of been stuck in the same loop for the past 10 years or so.
All right. Hey, here's a true story. Nobody would ever believe this, but if I'm lying, I'm dying. Second to the last high school baseball game I ever played in, this semi-decent looking chick comes out to sing the national anthem, and 2 years later we found out that her name was Carrie Underwood. And she grew up, she probably about, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 miles down the interstate from where I'm at. And I used to play baseball out that way my whole life. But, before she hit it big, she sang the national anthem at one of my baseball games.
Well, I mean, I know of her too. Don't get me wrong, and she's got a pretty good career. And did she even win American Idol, or was she like a runner-up?
Dude, no, she won the whole thing.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But back. Okay.
Well, back to what we were saying previously. Kickstarter has become to the point where, and as Zach was actually basically stating, and as we've all sort of like put our points across on it. It's become something that's kind of like everything, every good thing. It was supposed to be used for one thing, and it's being manipulated into something else. And the problem is, if people don't like it, and if we don't like it, don't donate. That's all it is.
True.
It's kind of sad because Pixel Noir looked like an amazing game, and the fact that it's not being funded just pisses me off. Now, moving on from that, let's go on to our last subject that we're going to quickly talk about. Now, in terms of gaming, let's talk about the whole abundance of gaming as becoming pop culture in a sense. Do you guys think this has been a good thing or if it's a bad thing? So we'll start from that. Travis, go for it.
It's always been around. That's the thing. Video games, they have become more pop culture because they are becoming more recognized as an art form. I mean, they're right up there with movies because they're throwing like millions of dollars into these projects to develop these games, and they've gotten bigger and more extravagant. And of course, like the cutscenes, even though most of them are just CG rendered. They actually look pretty impressive. So within that regard, they have become more pop culture.
Agreed. Now, Zach, do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, one thing that I thought Travis was going to mention was, I mean, you can't go to a place in the mall anymore and not see a T-shirt or a poster or something of like an original Nintendo controller. I mean, the art style, like, if you look at 8-bit, and back then that's really only what they had. They weren't saying like, it wasn't like someone was like, oh, this is my style, and I'm gonna make this. And there's probably been paintings or drawings way before Nintendo or 8-bit stuff ever came out that used that look. There has obviously been since, but it wasn't like people were like, oh, I have this new look where everything's a bunch of squares and we make objects out of them. That happened because that's what they had to work with, and that's a look, that's a thing. You can buy pictures of people painting like that. You look at indie games now; a lot of them use that art style of 8-bit, that kind of look. And it's over time made its way not only into pop culture. It's everywhere. You look at video games, you look at names. I mean, back in the day, Nintendo was a household name. Everything's a household name. Everyone knows what a PlayStation is, and an Xbox. So it's made its way to art. I mean, it's made its way to movies, anything. It's expanded. Everyone knows who Mario is, and I think it's great because, like I was saying, one thing I liked about YouTube was that their genres are very expansive, and you can find anything you want on YouTube or the internet in general. So the idea that what I want to read about and what I want to hear about and watch is things about video games, and it's everywhere. I mean, G4, they had their own television station. It's awesome, and I think it's great where it's gotten.
What about you, Clint? Where do you think that the gaming industry becoming pop culture? Do you think it's a great thing? Do you think it's something that's
I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm one of those parents who looks at all this stuff that comes out and everybody's saying, video games are the reason why kids are acting stupid, and they're not. Kids act stupid when parents aren't parents. That's the reason why kids act stupid.
I'm high-fiving over the internet, by the way, Clint.
I've got a couple of kids who I rarely have to tell them to do anything because first of all, they understand how to do business, and second of all, I teach them to have respect for people. And so they do what's expected of them. They as children, not expected of them by me, but expected of them by from society as a whole. They're not. I don't have to worry about my kids taking guns to school and trying to perpetrate violence that they see on a video game or that they see in a movie and all this other kind of stuff. I think that video games should probably be more relevant to kids or more accessible to kids than anything else, because you look at some of these other kind of sports that kids are in and they're getting sick of it because it's there's a lot of bullying and stuff going on. Which, with bullying with kids, when that's involved, I mean, there's a line before that even starts. I mean, when it's adults involved with each other, it's a whole different story. But, I think it should be, I think video games should play a bigger role in kids' lives because it teaches a lot of team building. And, whether they're doing co-op, whether it's brothers and sisters playing with each other, or whether it's online with a whole ton of people and they don't know who each other are, and all of a sudden they're forming a team and they're learning how to communicate. There's all kinds of positive benefits to video games, and I think it's great.
You know what? The one thing that really I hate is a cop-out of, at least my son's the one bullying and not the one being bullied. I hate shit like that coming out of people's mouths.
Yeah.
It bugs me. The hell, it bugs me. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. I was having this discussion with my kid's mother the other day about how she was trying to blame me for my son, because my son has a bit of erratic behavior. When he's with me, he, as you've seen, he's very polite. He'll have the odd cry every now and then, but he's very polite. And they, if I say to them, clean up, they'll clean up. If you're going to do something, you clean up now, make sure you get your homework done, then we can sit down and play some games. It gives them structure, it gives them boundaries. It basically, they know that dad means business. And yeah, I am the fun one. And she was like, the reason he's so aggressive and erratic is because he plays video games. I was like, yeah, Mario teaches him that, right? Mario teaches you to be aggressive to people. Get lost. And most of it is because she puts on TV programs he's not supposed to watch. There's stuff, I've caught her out. She was sitting there watching like some rude and nasty shows, and they're watching with her. And I was like, why are they watching this?
Mm-hmm.
And I've called them out. I was like, kids, upstairs now.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that you sit there and it boggles your mind. Be a parent. Be a proper parent. Know what your kids are doing. Understand what they're doing, and just probably teach them the fucking values that you've got, for God's sake. But I agree with you. The internet as a pop culture thing as well. It's exploded to the point where gaming has become something more of an art form in a sense, and everybody's enjoying it. We're getting more cons now. More people are playing games. More people are basically going in there, and the gaming world has exploded in a sense. But what it also means, though, is everyone and their mother has become part of something.
But look who the parents are nowadays. The parents nowadays are the kids who had a tree and a water hose to play with when they were young, and then all of a sudden video games hit the scene.
Yeah.
Now, when those things first came out, like the first thing I ever saved my money for in life was a Game Boy with Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. And I still have, in fact, it's on my computer desk over here somewhere. I still have the original game for that game. I still have Link's Awakening. And I'll never get rid of it because it's the first game I ever beat. It was the first game I ever saved my own money for. You know, I'd look at stuff like that from back in the day, and I just think, dude, that was probably one of the best times of my life. And then when my kids want video games, I'm like, hell yeah, you can have video games. I mean, because I remember how I felt about it.
No, I agree, and that's what I do with my kids. I'll just basically say to them, you know, Daddy, I want this. I'm like, cool, you want it? Okay, you've got to do a few things for me, and then you get it. You know, and one of the things me and Oliver was talking about quite recently, I put a down payment on a Wii U for my daughter. And I said to her, look, if you bring your maths grades up, I'll give you this. It's yours. If you don't, Uncle Oliver's going to get it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's just setting her up to fail. I'm joking.
Yeah, straight up. I'm the one teaching her.
Yeah. But it's the way it goes, and you look at it, and you look at the way that you've got to give them like little incentives and stuff like that, and they figure, you know, and I have to admit, kids are smarter these days than I was. I was fucking a little dumb shit, you know, but I didn't have my incentives. You know, my dad never gave me an incentive to do well. You know, I was more sort of, it was a different time, you know. I even had teachers basically calling me dumb. But nowadays, it's a whole different world out there, and everything's, and because it's become part of pop culture, it's more easily accessible now, and it's become bigger, and the gaming industry has developed.
Yeah, but that's not always, well, it becoming so big, I wouldn't say is the greatest thing. I mean, I agree with everyone's points that it's good, but you've got a lot of people who were never really into games who have kind of dabbled into it now, and the whole concept of a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. They're the people who blame games for kids going crazy. They're the people who blame games for this. They're the people who don't have an understanding of games like ourselves, who grew up with them, and will give our kids games because we understand what the responsibility is, what they're actually like.
Yeah.
So it blowing up so big has enveloped a lot of people who don't have any knowledge of the games or of the industry, of what it takes. In their mind, gamers are PC gamers from the 80s, sitting at a computer for 23 hours a day, destroying their life. Clearly not like that.
No, I agree. Because the fact, but I think it's more due to the fact these people don't know about the industry. They're just seeing it as the next popular thing to talk about. Now, going on from that, guys, we've got like 10 minutes of the show left now, so I think it's time to get the plugs out of the way. So let's do that. So we'll start with you, Zach. Zach, plug away.
All right, you guys can catch me on youtube.com/getting your nerd on. Yeah, we try to put out 3 videos a week. We got a Let's Play. We got to pick a video where me and my co-host Kyla get $20 for the week, and you guys tell us who spent it better. And lately, whoever wins gets to wear this wrestling belt in the next video.
That is badass.
Yeah, I agree. The belt is, you know, and when we first did the belt, Kyla was like saying how stupid it was, and then she won last week, and she was all happy to be wearing it. And I was like, yeah, because it feels awesome. And you can also catch us on Facebook under the same name, Getting Your Nerd On. We're on Retro and Limb. And what else do we do? And maybe
also on nerdgenius.com as well, just so you know.
Oh yeah, and you can find Kyla's Instagram. Kyla's Instagram is Kiki Buttface.
So Clint, plug away.
You know, my normal plug would be to catch me on Tuesdays and Fridays on the Retro Unlim Network on XFI Live. But we had an issue with a pro fighter, a UFC veteran who was coming down to fight for us. There were some legal issues had to get ironed out first, so we have put off our June event to September. And so I'm not doing anything right now, but I do have an announcement that Michael Burhan, not even you know about yet. My schedule has changed to 5 a.m., 3:30 p.m. from now on, so I'll be available every evening for whatever shows are going on, and I'll be able to jump back in the old Retro Unlim cycle there. And so
the great thing as well, he will be also hosting a new show coming up with Brandon Ligon, as we're rebooting a show that was kind of tried and tested, that hasn't been on the network for a while called Slamcast. So you guys can check that out. It's going to be like wrestling news. We're going to be having special guests on there. We don't know what date it's going to be as of yet, so stay tuned to our schedule, and we'll bring it up there. We've got some amazing shows on the network and loads of new shows coming as well, guys. So
and as we speak, I am working on getting a gentleman who I drove to Walmart one time around here, a guy named Beautiful Bobby Eaton from the Midnight Express. I'm working on getting him on the show.
Yeah, so we are working on that show. We're going to basically we're trying to iron out the hosts for that show. I know definitely it'll be Clint and Brandon so far. I may be joining depending on how my schedule works out as well. So check that out, guys. And also I'm kind of two ways because I don't want to inundate myself with shows and be on everything because I don't want to turn it into the Michael Bahan Network. So tune in for that. And Clint, is there anywhere else they can find you? Like, do you have a Facebook or Instagram or anything you want people to check you out on?
Yeah, dude, on Facebook. I don't know what my actual address, web address is on there, but if you just type in Clint Davis, I'm wearing an XFI beanie. I have a very, very badass beard. I've got a New York Yankees shirt on, and I'm taking a bathroom selfie with my ass sticking out. So
yeah, it looks like you're doing a Paris Hilton.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, without being slutty.
It's facebook.com/XFI Live.
Bam, there it is.
So next one is Mr. Rose Color Reviews himself, Travis Goss, who I'll be doing a Mario Let's Play with coming this week to celebrate the release of Mario Kart 8. So Travis, plug away.
Yeah, you can find me on youtube.com/RoseColoredReviews and youtube.com/RoseColoredLet'sPlay. You can also find me on Twitter. TravisScott79 is my Twitter handle. And on Thursday nights, I host my own show here on the Retro Online Network, and that's the On Radio Show.
Gaining a lot of popularity as well.
Yeah, I'm terribly surprised it is, considering how boring and meek I am, according to a certain individual who was harassing me earlier.
Oh, he's only jealous. Don't worry about that. And Mr. Oliver Hughes, do you have anything for us?
No, not really. I'm just piggybacking on this at the moment.
He's riding my coattails, aren't you, Ollie?
No.
You can check us out during the week. Mondays is John Latimer, aka JL76, with his show Desert Island Games. Tuesdays, Miguel Leon, of course, with the Untitled Movie Show. Brilliant show. I love being on that show. We talk movies and stuff. I'm going to be on there as well, basically ranting about a few of the blockbusters that came out this week. Wednesdays, you have the very lovely Jeremy Dougal on his show called Top Tier Games with Travis Goss and Craig Kellerman, of course. Thursdays, Travis Goss on radio shows. Friday, Rudy J. Ferretti with the Rudy J. Ferretti Show, where he basically opens up about controversial gaming topics. It's one of those shows that you can't miss. Saturdays, of course, I Got Gameplay, 8 p.m. As well, every Saturday night. And Sundays, you've got a triple header with the Retro Renaissance podcast with Chris Hiddy, aka Chris the Shacked, from the Two Fat Bastards. Then you have the Stage with Style with Nathan Mercier as well. That's usually on at 7 a.m. PMT, I believe, which EST is round about... Oh, no, the PMT is usually 8 p.m., which is 7 a.m. EST. If you want to check that out as well. And you also have the end to top Sunday night off, of course, Interfactual, which is a show we talk about the internet and the deep depths of the internet, so you can check that out as well, guys. Now, also myself, youtube.com/Michael Burhan, youtube.com/TheNerdGenius, dailymotion.com/NerdGenius, www.nerdgenius.com, and you can also check me out every Saturday night at 8 p.m. I Got Gameplay. There'll be loads more stuff coming up. Check out our show as well. Check out everybody on this network. And for Travis Goss, for Oliver Hughes, for Craig Kellerman, for Xander Scullion, for Zach Latour, for Clint Davis, for everybody out there, for you, the fans, of course, for Matthew, who basically gave us a huge load of chats there in the chat blocks fixed as well. This is Michael Burhan saying that we've got gameplay. Have you?